Oh my gosh! Welcome back. Oh, almost everybody. Hold on. There's the professor.
It's been happening for
Sort of.
months.
Oh, look at that kick-ass Atlas profile. Thinker, the thinker, right
Yep.
there.
Froze like that.
Oh, he's getting lag spikes.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Super laggy camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna whack. Give me I'll come back.
Yeah, I think his Kentucky subscription is up. No more.
Kentucky
Kentucky only
doesn't have
gets
subscriptions.
Kentucky
Come
only
on
gets
now.
internet. I think they only get like $100 worth of internet every year. So
They're they're outside of like the major cities, it really is that bad. Like
Is it
there's
really?
no hardly like that's part of what all these Doge cuts have hit is the spread of internet to the rest of Kentucky, especially Eastern Kentucky. But that's a lot further east than he is. But
yeah.
especially Eastern Kentucky, like trying to get fiber and stuff out there.
No,
There was a whole push to replace coal jobs with internet, like fiber jobs, like trying to get that out there, and it just it was terrible.
The internet gremlins have returned, and they have returned because Professor. Did you guys see the picture of his flamingo? Eric
Yes.
I think we've
that.
started an Aarakocra trend of memes that are just going to be impossible to combat. Oh my god! I was just going back and looking at those pictures. They're so epic.
Giancarlo.
This is a bird-heavy campaign.
Yeah, very.
I do think it would be hilarious if Giancarlo talked like Aldo Rain in he looks like a pirate. His name is Giancarlo, but he pronounces Giancarlo.
Giancarlo.
Oh, I see.
He's out here for
get back, buddy.
killing Nazis.
Oh yeah, if he sounded like that would be hysterical if he sounded like Brad Pitt's character.
Yeah,
that would be a good that'd be a great D&D like character to play. That
right?
And that accent too.
Now listen here. Now, back where I come from, we call that bad. Like always like his lead in and then his pause. His lead in and then his pause. So
and the final is always like one word and really short usually. Not like a good long word, but and we call that bad.
Oh. Well, the internet gremlins have struck yet again. He's going to reboot. The fact that his camera wasn't working tells me signal packet degradation, which means I wonder if he should have redone his Wi-Fi instead. Like rebooted his rebooted his Wi-Fi. Everybody have a good Sunday so far?
Yeah.
Boring.
Just
boring. Well, Tally, you got a big family, right? You probably had a big to do today, right?
I'm not Christian, but also I don't have a big family.
Oh, for some reason I thought you had a big family.
No,
they seem to always take up your time.
Yeah, they do, but they're not a lot.
Okay.
What that really means is small but needy, right?
All of us.
Oh, great! Now I have this image of everybody, including Karina, are all 2 feet tall. Small but needy.
Puck's height is like a disease that spreads.
Yeah.
At the end of the campaign, everybody is just like a little gnome.
Oh my god! I have grown to really, really love Puck now as an NPC. Just absolutely so much better. Look at that. Now we just can't.
There he is.
No audio.
No, not there.
Let me
There it
close
went.
this.
There it is. Now the audio's back. Look at that.
You're okay?
You went outside and you fed the gerbil, didn't you? You fed the hamster. You went outside. You said, "Look, just one more kilobyte, please. Just one more kilobyte."
Oh, we watched. My daughters and I watched Flow last night. If you haven't seen it, it's like
I've heard it's awesome.
It's great. Yeah, it's just. I mean, it kind of looks like you're watching a video game cinematic.
Yeah.
So,
What's it called?
Flow.
It
Yeah.
won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah.
it's
I've
just
heard
fun.
great.
Like there's no dialogue at all. It's completely animals, and I mean, my daughter sat and just watched the whole thing. You know, it wasn't like one of those
5 minutes long too.
Yeah, it's like it's
It's
a
just
little less than an hour and a half. So it was just one of those we're watching and they're watching, and it wasn't one of those like, okay, I'm bored now, I want to do something else. Like they're watching the whole time. So
Right. Well, I'm super excited for the new Love, Death, Robots season 3 to come out. That's going to be epic. I've seen some of the teaser trailers, and it looks. I think it's another 12 or 14 episodics. So it'll be really interesting. If anyone hasn't watched Level Up yet, I highly recommend you watch Level Up. It's pretty epic. That's the one on. That's the one on Prime. That's very similar to Love, Death,
Secret
Robots.
Level.
Secret Level, yes. Sorry,
Yes.
Secret Level.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Secret Level is fucking good. I watched it again over the weekend with Callista because she hadn't seen them all yet, and she was like, "Oh my god, this is so good."
The 40K one is probably my favorite, just because it looks like the visual stuff, like fighting in the dark with the glow in the dark blood and how they made all that work. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. In the aftermath of the Ares Spire disaster, this group, however, rallied together to rescue Melody, Marina, and Illith, escaping a devastating explosion aboard the Iron Collective ship. The fire spread rapidly, igniting multiple ships and destroying a portion of the spire. However, the team did work tirelessly into the morning to evacuate the civilians, heal the wounded, and extinguish the blaze. With Melody even summoning her unicorn, Giselle, to assist. I couldn't leave out the unicorn. Giselle! Come party with me! As the smoke cleared, they discovered a surviving dwarf slaver who revealed disturbing truths. He worked for a minotaur known as Spike, trafficking in fey creatures. Evidence pointed to a drop site called the Steam Pile near the Gordire. Professor Jabatros, feeling responsible for the explosion, turned himself in and was quickly imprisoned. The party, using disguises and clever deception, infiltrated the holding tower and replaced the professor with the captured dwarf through manipulation and bargaining. Meanwhile, Melody, reunited with her sister Ariana, had prepared for the Fey refugees to flee to Rockhaven and Sanctuary on the Roaming Beast. Before departing, Ariana revealed that Bragsworth, a visiting artist, may hold a gateway to the lost Feywild and could be connected to Spike as well. We ended with the party exhausted, returning back to the Prancing Centaur for a night's rest after finally procuring the professor and safely making sure that all the other creatures are safely on their way to the sanctuary. So everyone is free to go ahead and click off a long rest, as it is now the following morning since all the shenanigans took place. Professor Jabatros is safely restored. Morning. You can hear Binder already opening up the shop. You can also hear, what's the name of your griffin? Brightquill. You can even hear Brightquill curled up on the veranda, chattering and feeding on what looks like maybe some of the local cats that have been captured.
Wait, did you guys break me out? Because I thought you were just planning it last time I was there.
We got you out.
Oh yeah, you're out.
We bribed the guards.
Okay, cool.
I'm cool with it.
You're the lawful good character.
I am. It's like I don't need to know how you did it. I'm gonna make good. I'm gonna make good to the families as much as I can. But like I don't. What I don't know, it's lawful. It's fine. It's fine.
It's lawful.
It's falafel.
It's full of law.
Falafel.
Exactly. Y'all get it.
Falafel.
Falafel.
Okay. Karina's gonna check her communication lines just to make sure that, as far as we know, everybody was able to reach safety?
Use the book just to kind of write a quick message and make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah, and again, every step of the way, there's like a code word that they need to send her, and if she does not receive the code word, she will stress.
It's confirmed. You kind of get up in the morning and you kind of go over to your little writing table. You pull out the book. You quickly scrawl a message, then invoking the magic of the book. And within a few moments, you get the return reply of the coded message. And they're still in transit on their way to Rockhaven. They're not expected to get there for a couple more days. But so far, so good. They're traveling safely.
Okay, all good. So I guess Karina's gonna go back to sleep for like another half an hour.
You crawl back under your blanket.
I feel like they misspell the word one time, and Karina just freaks out.
Very that.
That A looks like an E. It's an imposter.
It's a coded message. It's a coded message. It all went wrong.
Yeah, you get a message back saying Karina's the big bad.
Oh God!
Which one of us? Because if it's me, I already know that.
For real, Karina.
No, you get that. Actually, the message you get back is
Please
that you get that creepy smiley face.
Oh no, the passive aggressive smiley face, like they're mad at me, but they won't say it.
Yeah.
The thumbs up. It's just a thumbs up. The Gen Z passive aggressive thumbs up.
It's like the KK.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is 2 days later, so I need to go be meeting Bragsworth at the Ares Spire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So-
are we still
A little
down
bit of a
with
mission.
Melody being a honeypot situation? Is Melody okay with that? I don't know if we ever got her okay.
Melody the honeypot? Yeah, I think that was a conversation.
I think if he's a wily person who likes Fae, and Melody is a wily Fae, who I think could handle that situation, and we need to, get him in a vulnerable position. And also, we like to heist, and this is one heist we haven't done yet.
A person? We have heisted a person before.
But we haven't did, like, the James Bond lady heist. We didn't do Poison Lipstick.
Are you saying Melody is Moneypenny now? Or Rich Moneypenny?
I'm saying we're getting her like a garter belt for a satire that has like a little pistol in it.
Would a satyr wear a garter belt? I don't know. Those haunches, like the satyr legs, are kind of haunchy. I don't know if that would be comfortable. That could be a little uncomfortable.
It's not about the comforts. It's about the look.
It's all about the look. You suffer for your look.
Yes. Fashion is pain. How is everybody else feeling about Bragsworth? Does anybody have like any additional plans or like something we want to get out of him?
I want to say the last time I went back and talked to Kalian about it, and he pretty much was just like, he's just a rich guy, wine and dine him. He was kind of quiet about what he was going to be used for or what he might be needed for, except that perhaps he was going to be related to or dealing with Kremp, I think.
Okay. Is there a location we feel like we can take him to where we could kind of be easily move him if we like incapacitate him?
What if we just get him in our skiff and take him for a ride down to the where the old portal thing was?
Ooh, okay.
Oh, yeah, down in the forest.
Yeah, because there are eyes everywhere in the city. So
Okay, yeah.
So
Let's pretend like there's some kind of like underground party there or something, and
it's a Fae rave down in down by the bottoms. They want the Fae like to rave where all the plants and everything are. So we'll go down to this Fey rave, and there's a particular satyr lady down there. She's very glamorous.
I think that's the plan. Okay, I'm a fan. Even if it goes wrong, at least we'll have fun. And isn't that all this is really about?
I mean, what's the worst that
Games are
could
all
happen?
about it. Yeah.
Another giant centipede thing tries to kill us.
Don't say that.
We beat it once, we'll beat it again.
True. And if we have time before we go, I would like to go to the bank thing where a lot of the money was transferred to Corina to see if I can find information about the times that somebody else received money under my name.
Head over to the money counter.
Yeah, is anybody here good with counter spells or anything like that? Okay.
I knew a bard that used to be pretty good with magic,
Yeah.
but he's retired.
Well, maybe.
Semi-retired.
He has other jobs now.
Anybody wants to come with me, or is it a solo mission?
Well, maybe we split. Professor.
Okay,
you know,
okay,
you
I can
seem
get
to-
ahead. So I'll go alone.
No, Professor seems to be the one to drive the skiff. I've done pretty poorly at it myself, but Professor seemed to be able to handle it pretty well. If we grab the skiff, Professor and I can go pick up Bragsworth, and we come back down and meet you all, and go down to the old portal area down in the bottoms.
Okay, I can go there ahead of time and just like set it up to make it look like there is some kind of party going on, or just scout the area and make sure it's empty.
Oh, I had no intentions of making it an actual party. I just meant a secluded place where no one goes, and
I
you
think
know.
Melody would want to do up the area to make it look like a party, though.
Right. Well, if you and Melody, tell you what, Corinna, you and Melody go do that, and then go tidy up the place, and then I have a trail if you want to join us as well. You know, we can
Yes.
make a
I'll
game of it.
do The professor. I love the idea.
Okay. Be convincing. You try to work your angles. Be fun. Bye.
Right.
So that Karina and Melody are starting off by setting up the area below, or are they going to go up to the coin exchanger first and see what they can find out about that?
Coin exchanger, and then we'll wait for them, and then we'll just go to the area below and wait for them there.
Okay. So you and Melody are heading up to the coin exchange in the Lantern Spire, I believe. And Forn, Professor Jabaltros, and Eritrea, where the three of you going to go meet Bragsworth at the Airy Spire?
Headed to the Airy Spire.
Okay.
I'm good with that. I do actually want to have a conversation with Binder.
You could do that now while everyone's getting ready.
Okay. So, Binder, my good bot.
Yes.
So,
What can I do for you, sir?
Well, first up, I want to see if you can identify this hammer that I acquired from a ruffian on that skiff. Another thing, I was curious. Are you familiar with any all good suppliers, any clothiers other than Fabian? Just someone that might be able to get you good deals on like wholesale silk or high grade cotton. Just curious.
I am understanding of certain suppliers, yes.
Oh, good bot. Okay, I would like you to see if you could start getting with any high-end mattress and pillow manufacturers, and just tell them first off, see if they're interested in a God's own pillow brand. We can get rid of these feathers that are, well, everywhere, and if not, we can sell them potentially. Get rid of some of our money woes.
Are you telling me we're going to be in competition with Spike Lindell and his pillow company now?
Well, no,
that
my
is the
God
name.
is it.
Minotaur's name is Spike. It's Spike Lindell, right?
Well, no, I haven't gone crazy and supported.
Keeps
what's
wiping his
that
nose
weird
all the time.
Yeah, I haven't gone insane with or delusional, and I'm not supporting. What's that weird goblin man's name? You know the one. Yeah. Anyway,
It's the Maja movement. Make Jrusar great again.
Yeah.
Jrusar, great again.
Nice.
Tally's horrified.
Aren't we trying to get to escape from that reality as far away as possible?
Leave it to Thorn. Leave it to Thorn.
Dude, that's
Hey,
like
just because I talk like I'm
shot
from
that.
here.
So you're trying to figure out a plan with Binder to sell off the god feathers that were left
Was that
in the
whatnot?
Miranda?
Yes. Like, first off, waste off whatnot. Second off, Professor Chalbatross is broke. I did not remember. I didn't get any of the early stuff. I have no money. So
I'll say that Binder will off and on for the remainder of the day start collecting as many feathers as possible and get them properly packaged into canvas sacks and other things, and see about looking for a local tradesperson who can do something with them, make them into blankets and mattresses and pillows and other things, and maybe even come up with a way to kind of sell them as potentially magical devices, like get your favorite good night's sleep with a magic blanket made of god feathers.
Now, Professor, we are going to the Ares Spire. Last time we came across that ship with lots of stuff, and that's what we stocked our shop with to begin with. You know, there is a chance by getting up there, if we get there before Bragsworth gets there, that you could be looking there as well.
yeah, that's fine. I don't like to owe anyone money. It's unbecoming, and again, I'm not quite.
It's unbecoming. I love it.
Right. Well, you could take on a job. You know, I got quite a bit of coin for taking on the job to protect Bragsworth.
I mean, that seems a bit. I don't want to say this. It seems. I don't want to say it.
Look, you don't have tenure in Jrusar. That ain't a thing around here. There ain't no teachers' unions.
Wait, they allow you to unionize? That's fascinating. I should introduce that.
Not around here.
I should introduce that back at my academy. That.
No, you're going to be a troublemaker if you do that. I can picture.
I love the fact that
I can totally picture Professor starting a union.
I just love the fact that like the professor is literally a cop, like a fucking paladin.
Yeah.
So with that, Binder has his sort of orders on what to do, and the three of you start heading over towards the Airy Spire gondolas that will take you up towards the partially closed Airy Spire, but there are other parts of it that remain open. And I'll say this much for the three of you, as you begin to approach the Airy Spire, you notice that there is a pretty decent amount of airships in the section that is not damaged. The gondola, there's a series of gondola lines that can no longer get to the western portion of the Airy Spire, and you can only traverse the gondola lines that go to the eastern portion of the Airy Spire. But you can already see that they're going through the meticulous process of, cleaning up the rubble and the debris, beginning. And, they're not fancy about it because this particular area overhangs, the wilds down below. So, they have these, big groups of horses and other things that are just kind of dragging the debris off the edge of the spire, and it just goes tumbling down, into the wilds below. Which has always been one of the kind of advents of doing construction and building in the spires. There's nothing really living down below, so it's really easy to kind of discard and, change the way the spires are constructed. So it's a pretty massive undertaking that's going on currently. But you guys reach the section of the Airy Spire where it's very much kind of clogged with dense amounts of airships and other activities. But as you get over there, Foreign, give me a perception check or investigation check as you begin to look for where Bragsworth might be.
That is 23, 15 plus 8.
Doesn't take you long to realize that a particular airship that is docked, it looks beyond bougie. Like, it's definitely a larger air skiff, so it can travel greater distances. But it is covered in silken kind of fabrics. It's like it looks like a pleasure yacht almost. You could see at least 5 or 6 heavily armed individuals on the deck of the ship. There appears to be a very kind of like tall and thin looking elf that is talking to a familiar looking tiefling. They seem to be having a discussion about something. This is maybe a few hundred feet away from where you and the others are standing, watching this kind of take place and go back and forth. That appears to be, that might be Bragsworth.
Does the elf look familiar at all?
Give me a history check. See if you recognize the elf.
That's an even better roll. History?
Yeah.
That's a dirty 20. I have a +1 to history, so that was a really good roll.
You don't really recognize the elf at all, but they have a kind of look about them that they are from the Ashnador range area. They're tall, thin, kind of deep complexion, has the partial face tattoos of the tribes that live down in that area. So you get the feeling that they're definitely not a local, but you don't recognize her. You're not sure who she is.
Okay. So I think it's right over there, Professor. I don't know how you work that thing. I'll crash it if I tried. But the big fancy boat over there with all the draperies.
Okay. I'll just start steering it over there. Of all the things you haven't mastered, a simple airship.
Look, the first time I tried it, I nearly crashed it and then wound up getting shot up in the air. And I'd rather, feel a little safer with someone else guiding the wheel. I defer to your expertise, wing boy.
Okay. All right then. All right. I'll take care of it.
What were we using for your piloting skill?
I honestly don't remember. To be honest.
I think it's sleight of hand, but I think you get proficiency.
Okay.
I think you just rolled. Like, I have a good sleight of hand, but I rolled terrible that time.
Yeah,
and you rolled fantastic. So it's just been like, I guess you can do it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's fine. I can do that real fast. So sleight of hand. Come on, bisexual dice. How'd you do? Not great. That's a 6.
Oh, it's gonna crash right into the ship. There's gonna be another explosion. I feel it.
It's a rough docking procedure. After bringing the skiff up and around and over into the area, past all the cordoned off area, and you're bringing it into a tight kind of series of docking stanchions, you feel it kind of do that scraping sound up against the pleasure yacht, and you can hear it kind of go, just slowly scrape across it as it tries to like dock near it. Which
it's one I'm standing on the front of it, like, smiling, and it's just
well, the best part is like
closer to the gangway, and it's still creaking and scratching all.
Like the 6 guards and the other captain and Bragsworth are all just staring at it happen. Like,
yeah, it's just this, like, we're moving like this.
and finally, Professor Jabatros settles it into the stanchion. You hear like a warping sound, and then as you guys are all trying to look cool, and Bragsworth is about to say something, like a section of rigging just falls to the deck, just like kind of just from the ship mast.
I can fix that. I'll fix it. Don't worry.
Bragsworth is like, well, who the hell are you? And why have you hit my ship?
I'm a bit out of practice, so it seems.
Practice? I should say you should have your license revoked.
Well, to be fair, and I just unfurl my wings. Like, I don't normally need one of these. I am fundamentally out of practice.
I pull out my
I'm terribly
token.
sorry, good sir.
I pull out my token of the Chandei Quorum, just showing them so they see that I'm supposed to be here.
Oh, good, my escort. So glad you could come. Listen, good fellow. You are a fellow, correct? Or shall I call you something else?
But fella's fine.
Oh, great. Listen, the very first order of business once I get here to Jrusar is there's a place I have to go to. It's kind of a tradition of mine. It's called, don't know if you've heard of it, kind sir, but it's called the Gilded Mirage. It's a casino in the Lantern Spire.
Right. Well, I'm under
Excellent.
orders
Would
from.
mind you and your fellows there? Could you come and fetch my bags for me, please?
I'm gonna look over at the tall the guard, the elven guard, and in Sylvan speak to her and be like, is he always like this?
She just completely ignores you, sends you a message without breaking character. He's your problem now. Goodbye. And she just kind of turns and pulls out like 12 heavy pieces of luggage and baggage up onto the deck of the ship. I say, good fellows there, a seagull friend, and I'm not sure, is that a priest with you? I could certainly use some help carrying my bags to the Mirage. That is where I always stay when I'm in Jrusar, of course.
Right. Well, there's been other plans today, but regardless,
No.
I roll out
Tradition is tradition. We must go.
I roll out
be on
the
our way.
portable
Great.
hole.
Let's be on our way. He immediately walks down the gangway onto the dock, and he's just staring at you, kind of just waiting for you to pick up his bags.
I roll out the portable hole and just shove his bags into the hole and roll it back up again and put it back on my
That's
back.
very clever. Who would have thought that someone like you could be so clever? Anyways, well, follow me. I shall lead the way. Oh, good sir. Yes, good to meet you. Oh, here's a gold coin for your kindness. Hello. And he's just moving through the crowd, and just is now walking up ahead and away from you guys, heading towards the gondolas that will take you down into the Lantern Spire.
I chase up behind him and I grab him by the collar.
Oh, hello.
Look,
I'm terribly sorry, but I don't wish to be touched.
I understand, but I'm your guard, and I'm telling you right now, we're gonna go to the skiff. The skiff will take you wherever you want to go. Jrusar is not exactly a safe place right now. Now, if you would, please come with me.
Jrusar is a second home. I love this place. Now come along. And he walks out of his jacket.
I throw it behind me. I don't care.
Yeah, as you throw the jacket, it reforms. As the jacket, you throw it, it reforms and gravitates back onto him and
what in hell?
Goes onto his body. You're casting hold person, Eritrea?
Yeah, I'm going to cast hold person on him.
As you cast on him, you feel the spell go off to no effect.
Oh, come on.
Are we all there, or is it just
no? You and Karina have headed towards the money exchange to learn about.
Gotcha. Okay.
Who might be interceding in Karina's activities.
We're gonna meet them afterwards for the party. They're just doing parts.
So he's now walking briskly towards the gondola. And you notice that every time someone walks by him, he good day, good to see you. Oh, pleasure to see you too. Of course, I'm a famous artist. Yes, good to see you. People are like, who the fuck is this guy? He is just peacocking through the crowd on the way to the gondola.
Professor, bring the skiff around, and I kind of wave him to bring it around over by the gondola, and I'm going to physically pick up. I'm just going to pick him up and carry him to the skiff.
You beat me to it because I was about to do that.
Give me athletics or acrobatics.
Yeah, probably acrobatics. Not great. That's a 13.
You go over, you pick him up, and as you pick him up, he's like looking at your arms. Well, I say, I don't think this is the proper way for my body servant to be treating me. And then there's like a kind of strange ozone-like smell of energy. And then he's now 30 feet away from you.
I will misty step right behind him and go for it again. Like we can do this all day.
I didn't realize. Are you Fae?
Yes.
Would you like to? Could I paint you?
Like one of your French girls?
I don't know what a French girl is, but if they're Fae, I probably have painted them before.
As I've tried to tell you, there are quite a few Fae people down here that would love to have their portrait painted. If you would just shut up and listen for a moment and follow me.
Well, I've been listening this whole time. You just really haven't had anything to say.
Come on now. And I'm like flagging the professor over.
Oh, how quaint. It's so rustic. Oh, well, fine. Just make sure I get to the Mirage promptly in the AM. I have things I must do there, of course. He looks at Arrow Trail and to help him aboard. Kind of puts his hand out in front of him like, could you help me up, please, good sir? Thank you very much. Yes. You kind of like pull him up onto the skiff. Oh, you're quite strapping. Anyways, where are we going then? We're going to the Mirage or someplace else?
We're going to a Fae party.
Oh, a Fae party.
We heard of your proclivities towards the Fae, and so we organized a little.
Would you do me a favor and open up your hole so I could get my paints?
That is a very odd request, and
well, no,
can
you
it
just
wait
chuck
till we
all
get
my
down
luggage
to
into
the
your
bottom?
hole. I'm just saying, you put everything in the hole, your hole. It's not my hole, it's your hole.
Right. Look around. There's not enough room in here right now. Wait till we get to the party. I promise. We'll get to the party.
No,
it'll be open. We'll get down.
I go to no party dressed this way. I'm required to put on my, how shall we say, my pretty things.
All right, we'll stop nearby and let you do that before we go to the party, okay? But we need to get off of this landing right now.
I suppose I must check in with Lord Kellyon anyways and let him know where I'm going, of course.
I can handle that. And he's like, my eyes go white, and I send a message to Kayla and says, we've picked him up, and, we will keep him occupied until you need him.
Now, is that due to your
the one way?
token?
Yeah, it's the token. Yeah,
gotcha.
Because I there was two. He has the one on his person still. I burned the one that I left in the room last time.
Gotcha. As unaccommodating as he is, you get him onto the skiff, and the four of you are now headed down into the old sewers down below. That area is where you're heading to.
Not the sewers, but where the
where the gateway was.
Down
the ruins. Okay. That's where you guys are heading towards. Karina and Melody, you take the gondola ride over to the Lantern Spire, and before long, you're standing in front of the open door of the money exchanger. Different person is currently working behind the counter. A tall, thin gentleman with kind of older, with wispy beard and wispy hair, but dressed in kind of decent refinements and looking very bored and very perplexed as you enter. And, yes, ladies, this is something I can help you with.
Before we go in, can I change my form to that of my parents? I guess my mom.
Okay, boy, that's okay. Give me a deception check as a base, if you would, please.
Should I help by disguising myself as your dad?
Yes, I guess.
Okay.
So it makes sense. And I have advantage on deception when I'm pretending to be somebody else.
Yes, you do. What were your parents? What were Karina Prime's parents' name again?
20. Okay, so it's 22, and I never gave them names. So if anybody feels like getting creative on the name, that's, I guess,
Ooh.
Mary and John.
No, that's way too Bramble. That's too Bramble.
Very,
We gotta do.
very creative.
We gotta.
Okay.
Okay.
With the Lantern Spire, like they're part of what was
They're
the house?
Lord of
again?
Ring.
They're fancy people.
Ooh, Mary and Dickens.
Tawny and Jorgensen.
Ooh, okay, I like that. Yes, the wife is Jorgensen,
So-
the husband is Tawny.
Okay. So Melody, you're gonna be Tawny, and Karina, you're gonna be Jorgensen.
Very well.
Did you ever? You never gave him a surname either, right? Like a last name?
Is it not Lombroso?
Yeah, it's Liar Lombroso, and I was very
Yeah,
proud
that's right,
of the middle
Lombroso.
name, but it never came up.
Yeah, but it's Lombroso, right? Was the surname of the family?
Yeah.
Okay. So before you guys enter this time, then, because that really is going to change his response. Since you come in as Tawny and Jurgensen, both of you enter. You see his eyes go really wide in shock and surprise that you're here. He looks around, realizes that no one else is here. He quickly runs right by you, closes the door and locks it behind you, and then comes back behind the counter. What in the Sam hell are the two of you doing? You're supposed to be in hiding.
We are in hiding, but
You're out in the plain of day. We've discussed this. Until we can smuggle you out of the city, you are to remain in hiding in the safe house that I procured for you. Have you lost your minds out in the middle of the daylight? Lord Callion will arrest you and throw you in prison the moment he sees you.
You're right. Unfortunately, we had to come here in person to verify a fraudulent transaction.
We got a text
Fraudulent
notification.
transaction? What are you speaking of?
It came to our attention that several of our daughter's requests for money were actually not brought from her, and somebody pretended to be her. We have it in good authority that whoever did that might be, involved in the unpleasantness that we're embroiled in, and might be a
The
key.
unpleasantness that you're embroiled in is that you've discovered Lord Callion's interaction with the Minotaur, of course. He's the one at the heart of all the smuggling of the Fey folk. We've gone over this a million times. But now you think somebody has been impersonating or stealing from you and your family?
Impersonating our daughter, and it seems like whoever did that might be the key to getting things back to normal, so to speak.
Well, let me check my ledgers and see if anything stands out. The moment we're done, you two need to get back to the safe house over in the Ember Spire. Do you understand me?
Yes, and again, thank you for your for everything.
Thank you for
for
everything. Thank you for everything. You've uncovered one of the most infamous plots in Jrusar, I need a drink. This is it. I knew this would happen. I knew you guys wouldn't take this seriously. I just knew it. I knew. He's thumbing through the ledgers, trying to figure out, looking through everything that he can.
While he's turned away, Karina's just gonna look at Melody and be like, "What the fuck?
What's going on?"
Sorry, not the Ember Spire, the Smolder Spire.
I'm gonna say, and would you let us know when was the last time you saw our maid Marina? Was it after we went into hiding or before?
I haven't seen Marina since since your house was raided by Callion's people, of course.
Oh, that's what
And
I see.
we went into hiding before our house was raided.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
Why
of
are you
course.
speaking to me as if you're narrating something you should already know?
Just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page.
Oh. Well, of course obviously we're not. You're asking me very suspicious questions.
We're sorry. We've just had the most disorienting, the most difficult time of our lives. Right, Bunny?
That's so right.
It's been very
Okay.
trying.
I need fresh deception checks.
No!
Yeah. This is getting a little bit, like he's getting really suspicious. So you
I'll
have
use my-
advantage, but it's a regular check for Melody.
Okay, 21 for me.
Okay.
Let's see. That's a 19 for me.
All right. That's actually not too bad. Hey, well, I will chalk this up to stress and unable to reside in your normal house of luxury. And clearly, I realize the safe house is by far no great place to hide, but it should be fine until we can figure a way to get you and your husband out of here safely. Now, give me a moment. He's thumbing through the ledgers and he goes, well, I have at least multiple access points here where Karina had collected some of the funds that you had left her. Interestingly enough, I have 2 separate occasions that she came back twice.
Was there anything odd about her when she came? Any strange familiars?
I mean, she did have a strange bird with her. I thought it was sickly. Other than that, I don't remember anything odd about her, other than the fact that she is kind of inherently odd.
I'm sure you look odd to her.
Well, I don't think that's true. I'm very well respected and I'm a bit high strung, but there's no reason for name calling, I tell you.
What kind of bird was accompanying her?
I don't know. Kind of looked like a half-dead owl, to be honest with you.
Did she say anything? Did anything at all stand out to you? Did she leave anything by any chance?
Not particularly. And she didn't take a surprisingly large sum of money from the funds that you've left open to her, of course. She only took 100 gold, and that was it, both times. So barely scratched the surface of the coin that you had left her.
Is it possible that she was simply seeking some kind of line of information? Was there any kind of information she would have been able to gather from this?
The only thing I remember her saying that was kind of odd is the first time she showed up, she said she needed money to buy her way into the auction that was selling some fanciful works. The Greymakers, I believe, is what she referred to. And then she also needed a coin to buy something from an engineer's shop in the Smolder Spire, a gentleman that went by the name of Crimp.
Huh. What do you recall? Maybe what she wore? Did she wear her usual outfits, or was there something different about her clothes?
She was dressed very plainly, and I told her so. I said, "You are dressed very plainly, not
She-
quite befitting Tawny and Jerkison's daughter. If you're going to be walking around as a Lambrosa, you should be wearing finer clothes." And she just gave me the most devilish stare and walked out.
Yeah, no, our daughter would not be caught dead in something plain.
Ridiculous.
I did not think so, but it seemed like it was her. She knew everything that was necessary to access the exchange, of course.
Well, going forward, would you mind if she comes in to collect anything at all, to ask for a password, and the password would be Melody?
The password would be evil.
Yeah.
Well, there's just a slight problem, Mr. and Mrs. Lambosa. The exchange is now empty, of course. The last of it was doled out to Karina, I think, a week or so ago when she came in and withdrew a surprisingly large amount. Do you have more that I can add to the exchange in case she comes back?
Sadly, not much, since I had to bail somebody out of jail. But
I'm sorry, you were doing what with your...
no, this internal dialogue.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I don't know. Being external dialogue makes it that much more fun.
Yes, I have, I guess, about 500 gold that I could
Oh, well,
spare.
Yep, I'll take it from you, add it to the exchange. The new password is the word evil. Very interesting.
Evil Ed.
Evil Ed. Very well. Well, I will let you know as soon as the next time she attempts to make a withdrawal from the exchange, of course.
Thank you. And if she does not use the word Evil Ed, would you mind giving her only 100 gold, saying that that's everything we have, and just and I give him the PO box that Karina uses to collect ill-gotten information, and just puts a little information in this PO box. One of our servants has been using it to try and keep track of things.
Oh, of course. You know, I'm not what you would call a professional spy. I've agreed to help you and your husband get out of Jrusar safely because I have a special place in my heart for the Fey folk, and I don't like to see them harmed, of course.
What is the escape path that you contemplate for us?
Well, up until last night, I had hired a barge, a skyship, to come in and possibly smuggle you out as couriers or guild masters, but unfortunately that ship was blown up last night. Well, it wasn't. A ship near it was, and then that one caught on fire and collapsed into a heap of rubble. So now I must figure out on how to secure you new passage out.
But how would we get from our safe house to the docks?
Right here. I finally acquired these for you. And he holds up 2 rings. They've only got 1 charge, so we have to wait until we can sneak you out.
What do they do?
They turn you invisible for up to an hour.
You have been a dear.
Has he mentioned what spire we're supposedly hiding on?
Yeah, the Smolder Spire.
The Smolder Spire. Okay.
You have been a dear.
But he's just like said the safe house I acquired for you in the Smolder.
Yeah,
Spire.
I was like trying to
kind of.
I was trying to ferret out the information, but I don't know how to do it without being sneaky.
You have been a dear, dear friend to us, and we appreciate you endlessly, and we will make sure that once everything is back to normal, we will thank you in more tangible ways. Truly, you have been a savior and an angel to us.
Oh, I understand, of course. You know, secrecy and all, and taking care. I do feel bad that your family has fallen out of favor in the upper ways that families do behave with one another. But I think for the grace and the good of the poor Fey folk of Jrusar, I think you are on the right side of justice, and I appreciate you as well.
And one last thing.
Yes.
I hate to request more of you, but if you do happen to see that imposter again, if by any chance you could get something off of her, any file, any piece of clothing, a feather from her strange, bizarre bird, this could be the key for us.
Well, I do have something here, of course. Yeah, he goes over to a small lockbox. He pulls out a key, fumbles with it, and opens it up, reaches in. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but every time she came here to withdraw from the exchange, she left behind a copper coin. These 2 copper coins belong to her. These came from her, 1 per visit.
My goodness, thank you so much. We might have good news sooner than we thought.
Well, here you go. You can have these if you'd like.
Thank you so much, and I pray that we meet again under more favorable circumstances.
Oh, I can assure you in a few days, I will see to it that you and your husband are safely taken out of the city and prepared for your long journey into hiding, of course.
Okay, kind of thank him again very graciously and put our cloaks back on and leave the store and then try to transform before anybody notices our...
Immediately.
Yeah, like you disappear into some little covey up near the spire and the buildings, and bam, you kind of, what are you guys turning into? Back to yourselves, your normal selves?
I think I'm gonna go Smingle since we're gonna because we're gonna go talk to the artist, and I want to inspire him with Smingle's beautiful form.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
You guys eventually make your way back down towards the Fate Walk Bridge, and there they are, sitting there hovering. And you could already hear his voice like carry over the crowd of the Fate Walk Market, and you could hear this voice. Well, I truly don't understand why we're just staying around here. I mean, we could go to the Mirage, stay there in comfort. I mean, who are these people that we're waiting for? Who are these people that make me, Bragsworth, wait so long? And oh, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, he's just like, he's fixing his hair, and he's like, you didn't tell me we were waiting for a Seda. Well, please. Like he moves past Karina, just like,
wow.
Grabs onto Melody's hand and helps her aboard. And
oh my goodness.
I must paint you, my dear. This would be an amazing painting, to say the least.
Oh my god, that's so flattering. So amazing to meet you.
Your friend here, your blue-skinned, strange-looking friend, won't pull my goods out of his hole.
What did you do to his hole?
What?
He put all my stuff in his hole. You're on mute, Foreign. We can't.
Just look. Just get on the skip. This guy is. Oh my lord! Never heard someone talk as much as this man.
I don't
Please
talk a lot.
hurry
I
and
just
get
have
on
a lot
the
to
skip.
say, of course.
Tell me, can you cast silence? Anyone have silence?
Oh my god,
cast it on my head. I don't want to hear it.
I'm so sorry. He's so abrasive, but let's just hop on the skip.
My dear. He is terribly abrasive.
It's really exhausting sometimes.
I mean, Callion was good enough to hire me my own manservant, and he won't shut up. He won't do what I say. He insists that we go to some party of Fey folk down in the jungles down below.
Ooh, oh, amazing! Are you ready to go? Are you going to wear that?
That was the other thing I asked him. Take my stuff out of your hole so I could get to my finer things I need to wear and to get to my paints. If I'm going to paint any Fey folk today, I need my goods.
So what is our plan? Are we just kidnapping this guy?
No,
I missed the first 30 minutes.
Pause button.
What's our plan for this guy?
So we're gonna take him down there to interrogate him, talk to him more, find out more information from him, find out what he's here for, stuff like that. But someplace where he also is safe from other people trying to get to him.
Are we trying to pretend that it's a party, or are we just literally like interrogating him somewhere scary?
Yes.
The second one?
It's yeah, it was one of those, hey, yeah, sure, there's a party down there. It's a place that's secluded. There was an old gateway there, so we can entice him with that once we get there and find out, hey, you're doing these magic painting portal things. Well, there used to be a portal here, kind of stuff.
What do we do with him after?
Put him in the hole. I don't know.
Are we killing him?
No. But your sister is very keen.
The party girl's like, are we killing this guy?
But your sister was very
tiny hut. Can he leave, or can we trap him in a tiny hut?
No.
You can leave a tiny hut.
It has to stay inside of it, or else if they leave, then the tiny hut collapses.
Okay, we can trap him in a tiny hut for up to like 9 hours.
No.
Why don't we just
you can't tap him in, but yeah.
Why don't we just like take him to the casino he wants to go to and just ask him questions?
Have you heard the man? If
he's very talkative.
You didn't see him on the dock. On the dock, he would not shut up. He talked to every person he walked by. It was everything. It was, hey, sir, how are you, sir? Giving money away like crazy. That in a casino is a nightmare.
But we want him to talk, right?
We don't want him to die.
Yeah, it's too high exposure in the casino, I think.
Besides, Kalia needs him for something. And so he's here. Kalia needs him something to do with that
All right.
Mhm.
I mean,
Kalian
Okay.
wants him to be horny. What? I'm missing that one.
I don't think Kalian has any problem with having to request that. I think that's already that's like the basic setting, the default setting, right? So
Oh,
So you guys heading down to the High Tree Station? And the High Tree Station ruins?
well, we're flying down to the ruins by High Tree Station, yeah. Because
Okay.
we don't have to go to the station with the skip.
No, and there's that's also a trades point. So there are people. That's the only place that people who are using the Odo and Wild's normal transit, taking the roads and the trails towards the base of the spires, and then they take the huge platform up into the central part of the core spire. So you also know that there are wardens there as well. So Professor Jabaltros will take the skiff, everyone aboard, and the whole time that you guys are going towards the whole time you're going towards the ruins, you're getting down and deeper at the base of the spire. The whole time, Melody, Bragsworth is asking you all these questions about your kind. How long have you been here? I mean, do you find people try to assault you and try to take your body parts yet? I've had many interviews with many Fae that say that.
is the vibe? Does he seem like? Is there any concern at all when he's asking about Fae being attacked, or is it more just like he's just like curious?
Give me an insight check.
Okay. Well,
Can I roll insight on that as well? Because
Sure.
if he's talking about Faye, I would be listening.
Sure, you can give me insight as well.
that's a 23 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, nope. That's
For you, Melody, you're used to this kind of creative naivete. He's pretending to be naive.
He's pretending to be naive.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Oh. I'm gonna just keep it so surface level in my response then. I'm just gonna be like total party girl, no concerns in my head.
Okay. And before long, you guys are back near the familiar ruins of the High Tree Station, the original one that was built. It's ruined center. You could see the pond. You could see the old hollowed out tree. You could see even the kind of covered up and decomposing sludgy remains of some of the creature as well. But it looks like it's been heavily consumed by the jungle overgrowth. But you guys are now at the old ruins of the High Tree Station.
Can I do detect magic on him?
Of course.
Okay. Can I have done it while we were still in the skiff?
On the way down towards the station? Sure.
Yeah.
As you focus on him as the target, the moment you execute detect magic, it just ends.
Do I have any sense of if it ended because he has any kind of magical
Give
instrument
me an
on him?
Arcana check on that one.
That's a nat 20 for a 26.
Ooh.
You get the feeling that he has something on him that is preventing spells from working.
Okay, Smingle is going to be all over him, just not respecting any boundaries. Smingle is used to being the center of attention, and she's not understand why she's not being that.
And what does Smeagol look like? What does she look like when you...
Like if Smeagol was sexy and had really large breasts.
He's like, now, dear girl, I don't really know who or what you
My
are, but
precious!
I can assure you that I require at least 3 feet of space, if you don't mind. He's
Sweetie!
He's kind of like staying away from you and like switches to a different seat. For the first time, Born, you notice he goes quiet. He's just like staring awkwardly at Karina, but he's also kind of staring at the jungle ruins as you watch Professor Jabaltros settle the skiff in the jungle.
Can I sit on his lap and just really see if, while he is uncomfortable, I can gauge where this object might be?
Give me perception, and then give me sleight of hand at the same time.
That's 21.
Ooh.
For perception, now give me the sleight of hand.
And that's a 7.
No, dear girl. And he jumps up really quick as you. There's a ring on his left hand that you suspect might be the device that's preventing spells from working.
I'm gonna message Melody about that ring and ask if she could use her wiles to get that.
Okay.
Now, why are we here? What is? I see no party. I see jungle and ruins, and this I believe is the old High Tree Station. Why are we here? Oh, it smells. There's mosquitoes down here. Why would we be down here? This is terrible.
The party is hidden. You what kind of lame party do you think it is that you can just see it from above?
Well, yes, but I don't want to be the main smorgasbord to insects, of course. I do have my complexion and my face to be concerned about, of course. By the way, can I please get changed?
Which bag do you need? I've rolled out the hole. I'm just like, which bag?
You watch as he gets down and pokes his head into the hole. This place smells like dead people.
I'm
anyways,
so tempted to kick him in the ass right now and just knock him in the
I like it.
You can see Foreign staring at it, like you can see the wheels turning in his head. Like
you watch as the
kick
jacket
is all it
sleeve
takes.
kind of comes off, and then the jacket sleeve starts pointing no at you, and then goes back onto his arm. And he goes, "Oh yes, that bag right there has the clothes I would like, and that backpack has all my painting supplies, if you don't mind."
So I reach down in and pull them out of the hole.
Oh, thank you for retrieving that from your hole. I appreciate it.
But you could look, storage. Just call it storage, okay?
No, it's a hole. I'm very accurate in my descriptions. It's not storage. It's although I must say, not sure what you've been storing in there, but it's got a strange odor.
There was a bunch of dead bodies in there when we bought it.
You watch as he takes off his trench coat, and it just kind of hangs there in midair by itself. He starts taking off his shirt, takes off his pants and his boots, and until he's just down in his skivvies. He's just got his little linen drawers on, and he's now got his bag open as he's rifling through it for clothes.
Little cat calls him.
From like his neckline all the way down to his ankles are like very detailed tattoos, and it's like expertly done, and they're almost done in like a mosaic way, like they're done to describe a story through tattoo and art and mosaic style drawings, and they are groups of pictures of fey creatures who are in various kind of gatherings or doing rituals or talking to each other. It's almost like he painted or tattooed many numerous impressions and meetings with different fey folk, and you see a huge variety of fey folk. On his back, as he's reaching in to get a shirt and some very kind of like silken and flowery and over the top clothes, in between his shoulder blades, you see a shimmerling, a tattoo of a shimmerling on him as well. Only it doesn't look like the one that you guys remember seeing at the auction. This one looks as it would look, happy and healthy in the Feywilds. And then he puts his shirt on, puts his pants on, puts on 2 or 3 like really extravagant looking cover tops, and places an awkward kind of silken hat on his head, and re-puts his coat back onto his body. It just kind of does it on its own. And he goes, there. Now I'm ready for a party, of course. And then he puts his backpack over his shoulder. He goes, oh, dear fellow, sorry to be a bother. Would you mind shoving this back in your hole?
Tell me about your tattoos.
I would be glad to.
He says that, and I roll out the hole and
He
stuff
puts
in
it in there and says, "Thank you very much." These are my stories. These are people that I met through the many years. And when I meet with them, we talk and we chat about their lives, and I make paintings and sketches of them. And here, I collect them. He opens up his backpack and he pulls out this beautifully leather-bound journal that he opens, and you can see all these amazing sketches of all these amazing fae folk that he's met over the years. Some of them are on his body, some aren't. You get the feeling that the canvas has only so much space to apply things. But the book itself is exquisitely designed. You can see the markings and etchings of magic inscriptions on the book. Not a language that any of you recognize. And then kind of he closes it and binds it, puts it back in his backpack, and just spends the next 5 minutes telling the story about how he has an intense interest in saving the Fae and telling their story.
Do I recognize any of the Fae creatures he's shown, or any of that? Are any of them prominent enough people that I may have recognized
What's
them?
your passive perception? Because it was pretty fast the way he.
Passive perception is 18.
18. Okay. There were. I would say the thing that strikes you very interestingly is that you didn't recognize any of the Fae folk, which tells you haven't met any of those Fae folk that are either tattooed on his form or sketched out in his journal.
Mr. Bragsworth.
Yes, dear. Oh, you are so pretty. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're a priest, aren't you? Right?
I am, yes.
And as a priest, what do you do? Because I recognize the emblem of Serenray on you. You're very far from home, aren't you? You're from Vasselheim, I take it.
I am indeed. But I'm finding home in this company I'm keeping.
This company you're keeping?
Yes.
The one that tries to accost me. The other one that clearly parties and drinks too much. The silent seagull who can't fly a skiff to save his ass. And a very, 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 very brusque and surly manservant. These are the people you call home, is it?
We're a motley crew.
Oh, that sounds like a band I used to listen to in the Ashenador. But anyways, I'm sorry. I interrupt you. What did you have for me, dear boy?
These Fae folk that you've painted pictures of, are they still with us?
Some are not, unfortunately. There's a particularly nasty minotaur that's been raiding along the areas of the Odolin Wilds, the Hellcatch, and other places. I've heard that he offers a healthy bounty for such creatures. Why?
Can I roll
did
insight
any of
against
them
that?
look familiar to you, dear boy? Do you know any of them?
I personally do not, but we know that the troubles the Fae has had, and
yes, it's very unfortunate when the Feywild collapsed, isn't it? No way for them to get home, unfortunately.
Can I roll insight to his spiel about the Minotaur? If he's just surface level, like I heard about this guy, or if it's like he knows about this guy.
Yeah, you give me an insight check on that one.
Oh God, 13.
13? I mean, to you, and the reason why it's so hard to read him is because everything feels very over the top, purposefully. It feels purposely over the top, but it's almost a way of deflecting possible insight into him. It feels like he's practicing a defensive mechanism.
Smingle is going to enter his personal space again to try and get him off guard.
Yes, Diego, what can I do for you? Could you perhaps put on a sweater or something? It's very distracting.
pushes the twins further onto him.
Oh, no! Oh, why? Look, I have to be honest with you.
No need to be shy. Listen, I've met quite a few men, and I can really tell when somebody is interested.
Well, no, you really can't. how shall I say this
But
without being too offensive?
Before we get this serious, I do need to ask you one question.
I am neither a boy or a girl person. I prefer my people to be just visual and non-tactile.
Why do you not like me because I'm not Fae? Do you only like the Fae? Is that a weird thing you have?
Well, that's not weird. It's just an interest. But
why is that interest, though? Is it like because you really want to help them? Are you like?
Why do I feel like I'm on New York Housewives?
Because I'm into stuff. You're just trying to get him to say something honest by making him wildly uncomfortable.
Yeah, and now for all of your guys' insight checks, with Karina's Smeagol form, like invading his space and like getting up into his grill, he is uncomfortable. There's no need to you realize he's uncomfortable. It's more, and it feels like he's uncomfortable every time Karina touches him. Like he withdraws really quick, or he clearly doesn't like to be touched. And even you, Foreign, he did everything he could to prevent you from touching him, and it didn't feel like it was because he was worried about you from a perspective of harming him. You just get the feeling that he just doesn't like to be touched.
While I'm there, I'm gonna try and get that ring again.
You can give me a sleight of hand check on that one. It's a high number.
Oof. No, it's a 7.
He just smacks your hand and goes, "Please mind your P's and Q's." And he pulls back. I don't really like to be touched.
Oh no, I'm sorry, honey.
My name's Bragsworth. I am not a food. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna while he's busy doing something, I'm gonna try and wave the rest of the group over for a minute.
Oh yeah, he just leaps right off the skiff and into the jungle, and he stretches. He goes, "Oh well, maybe we're the first ones here. Well, it doesn't matter. This is perfect. Melody, would you like to sit and let me paint you, perhaps?"
Melody, please don't do that. He's gonna steal your soul.
So, before you go over there, I pull everybody. What's the deal? What are you trying to get? You keep grabbing at him.
Oh, I messaged it to Melody. I probably should have messaged it to everyone. The reason we can't do spells on him is because he has this ring on. If we can remove the ring, we'll probably have a lot more power over him.
I think this guy is smarter than he is letting on. I'm going to be careful.
Right, so...
I would say that if he's not attracted to all this, then he's letting on. But okay.
So maybe I have an idea. Maybe there's a way we can work around this. If our party is, as you said earlier, hidden, perhaps we all walk in and act like we're interacting with folks, and he can't get in, and one of us step back out, and he's like, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, do you have something that's stopping magic from affecting you? Because we're all in the party right now, and everybody's around us. I don't know what the issue is with you, but it'd have to be a really good performance, and I'm not that good."
Ooh, I can transform into a fae that is supposedly waiting here to guide you guys there, and we can just say that Smeagol was so offended that she left.
Should we say, we have to do a spell to invite the fae to the party? Or to transport us to the place where... to be transported to this place where the fae are?
Better idea. And, yeah.
No. I or Karina or someone with good charisma can do a performance of it and be like, "It's not working."
Well, you can cast it on me first, and I can misty step away. Or I can go invisible. Either one.
Okay.
So,
so this is your party, Melody. So we'll say this is your party, right? Okay. Sure. All right. Game. Everybody ready to go?
Yes. Professor has a thing that I would like to. Can I do a quick survival check and just see if there's any creatures just set up around where he is? Just.
Yeah. Give me
any kind of Okay. Come on, redeem yourself, dice. The first time you're embarrassing me. Okay, I'll take it. What is that? That is a 16.
Nice.
So with your survival check, what are you looking for specifically?
I want to just I'm trying to see if there's any preferably kind of harmless creatures around him that he doesn't necessarily know about. Just like a random gecko or like a frog or just something that I can kind of.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty much an area with a lot of like jungle wildlife nearby. So I'll say, you see one of those like 2 feet long, slowly moving centipedes, in the palm fronds of the jungle.
Okay, so I just want to look over at Ford and just be like, let me try something real fast. I just want to kind of nonchalantly walk up to him. So I do hope this doesn't violate your processes or anything, but can you tell me anything about the materials you use? These seem rather, dare I say, enchanted.
Oh, but my materials that I use, I spin them myself, of course.
Oh, that's fascinating. And my God, what is that? I just want to like jerk him up by the hand that has the ring and like point to the newt or whatever I saw on the forest floor.
Okay.
And
sleight of hand, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, sleight of hand.
I'm trying to physically pick him up, but yeah, I just want to do it by that arm. Where's my trash can? There's my trash can. That is a 16.
16. Your hand on his arm slides across the ring. Because you've gotten the closest so far to trying to touch the ring and interact with it, you realize that it is fused to his flesh.
My God, I'm so sorry.
Please be careful. Yes, that's unfortunately something that I can't exactly part with. I apologize.
I want no, not your. Wait, what? Just did you see that creature down there? I wouldn't want it to attack you. I'm not familiar with all the things in here. I mean, obviously it's a club. It probably isn't anything that dangerous, but it looked. You see it? It's bright orange. I don't know. I felt like I should be better safe than sorry. But I do apologize for manhandling.
Out of all the people here, you seem to have a mannerism of education.
Well, I am a university professor, believe it or not.
What do you teach? What do you study?
Extraplanar studies and extraplanar archaeology.
Extraplanar archaeology. What does that entail?
Yes.
Perhaps you can explain it to me.
Well, I'm an Aarakocra. I hail from an airplane. I live in Arona. But yes, no, like a plane of air, not a.
Oh,
sorry.
I'm certainly glad you cleared that up for me. It was sounding very confusing.
Yes, it's fascinating things the humans are doing these days. At least so I've heard. I don't deal with them very much, but yes, I came here actually to study some ruins out to the east, but well, things happened. But yes.
You're a very interesting person.
Very kind of you to say.
Why are you with this lot? Why are you here?
Well, I was in a bit of a sticky situation, and they helped me out, and I'm honor bound to provide my assistance. You know how it is.
You have honor. Interesting.
Well, yes.
And why do you have honor? I missed that part. Why are you honor bound? You said sticky situation.
Yes. I was unable to extricate myself from some unfortunate circumstances. It's rather personal. I don't particularly want to get into any of it, but they assisted me, and now I am in their debt, both literally and metaphorically. I'm honor bound to assist them in their endeavors.
So you're not from this place, this plane of existence?
No, I'm not at all.
And you're trying to go back?
Well, yes.
Interesting. He's in the midst of like setting up a tripod. He's setting up a blank canvas. He's pulling out pants or paints. He's pulling out brushes and like a wooden board with a lot of paint mixed on it. And he's like talking to Professor Jabaltros while setting up to do a painting.
Again, peacefully sorry to bother you with that.
I know, quite all right. Yes, I think I'm an interesting person, so you have every right to be interested in me.
So are we chopping off this guy's finger?
Do any of us have poisons? Can any of us like try and get him, unconscious first?
Or should we just try and talk to this guy some more? He's really talkative.
That's fair. If we need, is it okay if I transform into a pixie or something and pretend to also be looking for this party? I feel like Smingle has run her course.
We did cut off somebody else's fingers, so it wouldn't be the first time.
Listen, I'm a fan of the idea. I think, what's one finger when you have 10? Let's do it.
Yeah, so, Melody, would you kindly stand over there by the ruins so I can paint you? And she's gone.
Perfect time.
Yeah, right? Perfect timing.
I'm going to pretend to be a pixie real quick and be like, oh, you guys are here for the party too?
Give me a deception check on that one. Oh, she was switching headsets.
Okay, and I'm pretending to be somebody else. So
again,
17. Yes.
17. Oh well, where did you come from, dear Pixie? I didn't see you. Are you the vanguard of the party, perhaps?
Yeah. So you guys are here for the party, or what?
Well, in a moment, I have a painting to do. You see, I've all set up, of course.
Oh, are you that famous painter?
I am, and he bows deeply, and he bows so deeply that he comes out of his jacket, and his jacket just stays behind him, up in like a prone position, and then as he comes back up, his jacket just kind of smoothly goes back onto him.
That's a cool jacket. Where did you get that?
Oh, in my travels, of course, dear. And what kind of pixie are you? And he like pokes at you, like, what do you do? Are you magical? Are you from the Fae? Are you first generation Fae, or are you many generation trapped here in the material plane? What's your story?
Well, you didn't tell me where you got that cool jacket, so I don't know if I should tell you my cool backstory.
Oh, it's not that important. If you'd like, you can go sit with your Seder friend there, and I can paint both your pictures.
Oh, I only do individual portraits.
Oh, would you like to go first then? There's not much of you to paint.
So are you guys going to the party? Because I really want to go back there. The vibe is harsh here. I don't know. I mean, there are so many Fae there. It's like just Fae, or just partying, drunk, their guard is down.
It's been a while, though, since I've been able to paint a folk. I would really appreciate the opportunity, of course.
Oh, how long ago was the last time you've encountered a Fae?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps a few weeks ago?
Really? Who? Maybe I know them.
I believe it was a fawn, of course. They call themselves fawns.
Do you know their name? Was it like Tony? Because I know Tony.
I apologize, but I don't recall their name.
How did you meet them?
In my travels, of course. It's what I do. I travel, I meet, I have conversations, and I paint.
That's fascinating. She's kind of looking at everybody else to be like, so, like, are we cutting his finger? Are we pretending to go to a party? Do I just, like, what are we doing?
I'm not helping with no finger cutting. Like, this is already kind of straining my my morality to, like, fuck with it this much. Like,
Forn as fed up with this guy as he is, the more he talks about and insists on painting, the more Forn thinks about the Greymaker's auction and the Shimmerling and that whole situation, and he's getting more and more like if you were watching him, you would see his demeanor getting more and more grim. He's tapping his hand like on his holster, like a nervous twitch, like he's fingering the gun on his hip. Like
I kind of give Thorn a look of compose yourself. Compose yourself.
What's like the most exotic fae? Like something that he would have never had a chance to paint.
Ooh, you can try to give me a history check on that one because there were a lot of tattoos on his form.
It's 23.
You're not really sure. Probably the most interesting thing you can paint would be an archfey.
You know, I really want to go back to that party because there's this archfey, and I think if I, play my cards right, maybe we can get something going.
Persuasion check on that? Because you just appeared out of nowhere, and now you're trying to butter him up to go to the party.
It's 22.
22. I put the DC at a 20. He starts packing up his paints immediately, and the one thing that you notice is that getting things in and out of his backpack, like a canvas that's sizable, just drops into it. The paints just drop into it. You get the feeling that his backpack is probably a bag of holding. And he kind of quickly packs everything up, and he puts his backpack on over his coat, kind of like adjusts all of his frills and his frilly colors, and you watch as he snaps his fingers, and a thin wooden cup with flowers coming out of it and an aroma of like an alcoholic beverage is kind of permeating from it. And he goes, "Well, I've got my drink. Lead the way. I'm all for a good party."
Perfect. Well, you guys know the drill. Non-fays need to have their eyes obstructed because it's a secret about how we plane shift there.
I'll get out a little pink scarf. I can tie this on.
I caught Eritrea's glance, and I'm trying to calm down, and I finally stand up and my eyes go white, and I'm going to DM you a message, storyteller.
Oh, okay.
Mysterious.
And to who it's going to. I can click over to Discord.
Not easy doing 5 things at once, is it?
Oh,
We have to decide if we're going to alienate this guy or not.
I'm a fan of cutting his finger off.
Well, if we're going to do that, we should just do it, right?
I guess once we, blindfold him, I think Thorn would be the best to just quickly cut his finger off. Then we put a spell on him, hold him.
Do we think he's for sure a bad guy?
I get the feeling that he's stealing people's souls when he paints them and using the Fae in a really weird way.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't. Do you guys want to try and collaborate with him? Do you feel like he's worth trying to befriend?
I feel like he has not been obviously evil, and he doesn't seem to feel negatively about the Fae, but I just can't tell whether is it a situation where he's trapping people's souls in paintings and then they're starving in there, or is it a situation where maybe he doesn't know what he's doing, or he thinks that it's safer in the portrait than it actually is, or something. I don't know. He's probably just evil.
It's hard because he is so evil.
I sent my message.
Okay. Yep, I saw it.
Okay. Karina is a fan of cutting his finger off, so unless somebody feels strongly against it, she'll just do it.
My eyes are shut. They've been shut for 2 minutes. Now, come on. Let's get to the party.
I'm gonna turn into Regina's form. I'm gonna take my knife. I'm gonna cut his finger off.
I hold my hand up to stop you first.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I hold my hand up to stop you first.
Yeah, he's just standing there with his eyes closed, waiting. Just his foot is tapping impatiently.
And I go up behind. I walk up behind him, and I have my pistol out, but I don't touch him with it. And I get up close to his ear, and I say in his ear, "Tell me about the Shimmerling."
Persuasion or intimidation?
This is probably intimidation. This is
Okay.
most definitely intimidation, but even though I have a better persuasion, but this is definitely intimidation. That's 15.
He steps away from the jacket, so his jacket's still hanging there, and he moves a few steps away from you. He turns around and with a very impatient look on his face, "Would all of you kindly tell me what this is about? I'm confused. You were supposed to protect me and escort me, and the rest of you were to take me to a party to meet Fae folk. And yet I get this specific feeling that somehow you think I am your enemy. Why would that be? And what does a Shimmerling have to do with this conversation? Because I painted one?"
You have no idea, do you?
Idea about what?
Do you know what happened to the Shimmerling you painted?
I actually do know what happened to him. He's quite fine and still in hiding.
Then what came out of the painting?
What painting?
Corinna.
You mean Pixiana? Yes.
But Forn is very one-track minded right now. And
Do you call Pixiana Karina?
Oh no, I definitely say Corinna, and I'm like, because I know Corinna had the fragments of the frame.
Yeah, I'll take them out of the wrist pocket dimension.
Oh, fascinating. Goes over and what are these things? These look like tattered remains of a painting.
It was one of your paintings.
That's oh dear boy, that's impossible. I don't sell my paintings.
So I have mending as a cantrip, and I'm gonna start grabbing the pieces of the frame and mending them back together to try and get the complete frame. It doesn't restore any magic, but it
doesn't. No,
I can put them together piece by piece, and so like if I have the
technically
pieces,
have all the pieces though.
yeah,
Just some of the pieces.
but I'm putting it together to be like, this is the frame. Is this not one of your painting frames? This is not a frame that you.
Does you mend some of the canvas and part of the frame back together again? He stares at it, and for the first time, through all your conversations and interactions with him, he gets a pretty serious look on his face. He kind of, that is a painting that I sold to an art dealer in King's Fall during one of my travel stays. That was supposed to be a very personal and very private sale that I made to her. I'm confused as to how you've gotten it. Did you steal it?
It was going to be sold in an auction in Jrusar.
My painting sold as an auction in Jrusar? Who would dare do such a thing?
As I said, the Greymakers.
Why would the Greymakers do that? Oh.
Now, tell me.
Nibbling? Conniving? She had something to do with this.
Now
And he
tell
just kind of
me.
gets lost in thought.
Tell me about the Shimmerling.
About the Shimmer... I don't know what to tell you. I painted that Shimmerling some... I don't know, 2-3 months ago.
Where was the Shimmerling when you painted it?
I cannot tell you that, of course.
Shimlings can't exist in the material plane. They're tied to the
I am
Fae.
very
I know
aware of
quite a lot
that.
about them. Where was the Shimling?
It was in a secret Fey pocket, and I will say no more than that.
Was the Fey pocket tied to your painting?
Now he's getting like a nervous look. What do you mean tied to my painting? What are you implying?
When this frame shattered, a portal, a gateway, something opened up, and a starved, wild, vicious Shimmerling came out and attacked the Greymaker's auction.
I don't know why that would be. My paintings are simply captured portraits of people that I meet and have conversations with, and people that I do my best to keep their secrets, of course.
I'm rolling insight again.
Yeah, you can roll insight if you want.
Oh God, terrible rolls lately. That's an 11.
Hard
Can
to
I
read.
as well.
Yeah, if you'd like.
Can we all roll insight to be on the safe side?
If you'd like to, feel free. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I feel like
I got a
Actually,
24.
Okay.
well,
I'm-
taking that,
16.
could I
16, 23. Anybody else?
I don't want to roll insight. I want to do something else kind of while they're seeing whether or not they believe him.
Okay. Melody, since you had the highest of the rolls, you get the distinct feeling that he is now being genuinely honest. He's uncomfortable. He's stammering a bit as if he's trying to determine what he can safely say and what he can't safely say. And Eritrea, you are picking up a very subtle hint of fear and concern in his voice. You get the feeling that he probably is now beginning to mistrust all of you. He's beginning to realize he's in the middle of nowhere. He is surrounded by strangers that he's just met. They're asking him very specific questions. He is feeling threatened by you.
I am charged by Kalian to keep you safe. But I don't believe that Kalian wants your safety. And I don't trust you right now, given that a painting that you made had a marvelous creature of the Fae in such destitute condition come out. I had to kill that creature. I had no way to keep it alive. It sticks very painfully on my soul right now. I need to understand that you are being truthful to me right now. Like, his veins are, like, he is serious, but enraged, but he's giving Bragsworth the benefit of the doubt at the moment because the killing the Shimmerling, like, still is something that really bothered Porn. Because his whole
You
thing
watch,
is keep the
yeah, you
Fae
watch
safe.
as the jacket comes off of Bragsworth's body, and it floats away from him, and then Bragsworth tilts his head towards the coat, and the coat is using its sleeve to kind of beckon him towards him, and he starts having a conversation with the coat that's hanging there midair, and they seem to be going back and forth about something, and the coat gets really animated. Bragsworth gets really animated. And then Bragsworth's head just kind of goes limp, and he just, of course, but I'm not so sure we can trust them. Are you certain? The trench coat's like lapel goes up and down like it's, saying yes. And it's like its sleeve is like tugging at his arm to give him courage to do it. Very well, but I don't like to do this. You know what's been going on. The coat like shrugs at him. I mean, if I do this, they could find me. The coat just kind of folds its arms in front of him and just kind of natters at him like he's being a coward. Fine. You watch as Bragsworth turns around and his visage begins to alter. The tiefling face disappears, the tiefling form disappears. Standing in front of you is an 8-foot tall Fey creature. And this creature has I want to make sure I do the right one. Oops, nope, wrong one. Every time.
That would be a dramatic reveal.
This creature has long, pointy ears, long red hair draping down his back, huge tufts of red hair underneath his chin. He's wearing an emblem of a cloaked figure with a face and a smile in the emblem. And he kind of like bows very flourishly in front of you. Don't believe how much time I have. My name is Artagnan. It is a pleasure to meet the five of you. And you, pixie, human, changeling, you may revert to your normal form now.
I transform to Regina.
I know that Callion is a deceitful bastard. I have spent a long time setting up this ruse. You see, now that the Fae is inaccessible to me, I have to, how shall we say, find my people and protect them wherever I can. Now, I'm not sure how they got that painting that you're holding there. That was given to a friend of mine in King's Fall. I'm not prepared to name that person because I'm afraid it is something I must make an inquiry in on my own. And he snaps his fingers and a drink reappears in his hand. He takes a big drink and it sits there floating. The jacket is floating nearby. Now, why have the five of you taken such an interest in Callion's business? Clearly, you have other directives here. You have other thoughts.
I am in the service of the Bright Queen.
Yes, she just messaged me.
Good. I had no idea. And he like as he says that, like I my demeanor changes slightly and I do put the gun away. It's very much like maybe we're on the same team.
I can assure you, dear boy, we are not on the same anything.
My knife is still out.
Like you asked about Fae here are being kidnapped. There's a whole organization to drag people away and use them for parts.
Yes,
and we know that Callion's involved.
I have been tracking this Iron Collective for a bit now. I have been secretly pretending to be in the service of Callion. He thinks he's going to buy my entire artworks and collection. It would appear that you Fawn are the one to keep me safe. He brings up his hand and he taps at the fused ring. I can assure you, none of you can harm me. None of you can do anything about what I need to get done. My best advice is for you to either choose to help me or stay out of my way.
So what's the plan?
Oh, the plan, dear boy, is safely tucked away up inside of my masterful cranium, of course.
Look, we can't help you if you don't tell us part of what we need to do.
There are many moving pieces in this, and while I feel sorry, and I do apologize for what your friend Melody had gone through on the Iron Collective ship, I can assure you there have been many other rescues done over the course of the last 6 months. This Minotaur that I'm trying to find has plagued me quite a bit. And unfortunately, since my, how shall we say, godlike powers are limited on the material plane now, due to recent activity, I only have a limited amount of time that I can appear in this form. I must revert to my other form, my avatar form, or else I shall attract unwanted attention and my efforts will go undone. Can I at least revert back to my other form for now? We can discuss things.
Certainly.
Excellent. And the next time you have a chance to speak with the Bright Queen, tell her not to put her life at risk seeking a message to me again. It's not worth it. And then the form shifts and shimmers and and the tiefling Bragsworth form is back in place again.
So why are you so eager to paint Fey folk? It can't just be that you enjoy it.
When I paint the Fae, it allows me to track them. It allows me to understand where they are, and when I have the means to safely find them to safe havens, I then contact them, and through those that help, we then whisk them away to safe places.
How very noble. It's a
Oh, it's
shame
not
that
noble. It's not really that noble, dear girl. I hope at some point to restore the Feywild, and by preserving and collecting those that are going to be needed to help restore the Feywild, I am merely surviving, I assure you.
Like, as he talks about the Fey pockets and things, some wheels are turning in Fawn's head, and I look over to the professor, and Professor, where's Bright Crew?
Before I summon them back, what I was going to do while you guys were doing your
Oh, yeah,
checks,
go ahead.
Let me find the talent. I was going to grab my Feather of Commune and just try to get in touch with Remnus. It's like, this is your area of expertise, but
I can barely hear you.
I'm trying to be atmospheric, but I know this is your area of expertise. But is this being a threat to us? Can we trust him? That's two of my three questions.
Yeah. So. You feel a warm breeze from the jungle, indicating he's not a threat. You then feel a cool breeze from the jungle, as if to be unaware of what his purpose is.
I'm gonna hold on to my.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold on to my third question for now and just kind of turn back to the form and be like, so. You say that you're tracking some of the lost pockets of Fae. Well,
I'm tracking Fae creatures that I paint them. It allows me to scry on them, and then when I have the ability to safely get them to safe places, I track them down, and through friends that I have, we get them out of the material plane, shall we say?
I understand that.
Where does he go?
There's something about you that's not quite jiving with me here. So I just want to.
Well, Professor, he is a Fae. I mean, we don't quite jive with anybody.
I beg your pardon.
Yes,
I am an Archfey, of course.
I bow courteously, like honestly, not sarcastically, bow courteously to him.
Oh, don't worry, we don't do that here. Not necessary.
I give him the middle finger.
That is the preferred response of a very good friend of mine, a tiefling girl. Quite nice.
Is his name Jarvan Soot?
No, I don't know who Jarvan Soot is, but no, her name is Jester.
So I'd like to just kind of look at Thor and be like, I'm trusting you with this. If anything happens to my friend here, and I'm just going to kind of motion to Brightquill and have him appear.
Brightquill appears. You watch as the face of Bragsworth goes very passive, and then a big toothy smile. Oh, Brightquill, a familiar, of course. You must have tapped into an unyet recognized Fey pocket somewhere. You watch as Brightquill immediately bows towards Bragsworth. And Brightquill, very kind of robustly in his griffin-like voice, I am sorry, Great One. These creatures are simple-minded. They don't necessarily understand the importance of your value here, but I certainly do. While I'd love to offer up my services for you to hide Fae in the pocket that I reside in, I unfortunately, fearfully, must decline. I'm afraid that our Fey pocket has been compromised, and I don't feel that you or the others would be safe there. I understand, kind creature. It's quite all right. I have many, many other places that I can use. It's more about finding more of your kind and others, and how shall we say, stitch it all back together again? Oh, and I must say, the person helping me out the most, in case you ever run across her, she goes by the name Zenith. Quite a kindly soul. She seems very insistent that all this is her fault.
I mean, that seems like the I don't, this is a little bit more recent than my field of expertise. What did Xanth do about all this?
There was a great battle over the Lucidian Sea, and there was a collision of energy and power, and basically the Fae and the Shadowfell were destroyed in this battle.
Yeah, I remember all that, but I don't how she was mortal at the time, if memory serves. How could that possibly be her fault?
Well, I tried to explain to her that she was not the only one at fault. There were others that were there with her as well. I've always hoped to find all of them, get them back together again, and have a conversation. But Xanath has insisted that for now, things be left as they are.
Just kind of shrugs and like steps into the background. Like, all right, man, did my piece.
Are the five of you aware of what happened recently in regards to divinity?
No.
There was a struggle. Okay. And within this struggle, a creature known as Predathos almost came into existence. Predathos is known as the God Eater. He consumes and destroys gods. There were a very feisty group of individuals that worked together with another very feisty group of individuals. They successfully, how shall we say, contained Predathos, but at a cost. Those of divinity's sake were forced to walk the material plane as avatars, as partial mortals or unending mortals, depends on your opinion about the choices. Some chose to do so, some chose to not do so. I am somewhere in between. Well, I am Archfey, and I use my powers to instill divine and godlike ability on those that favor me. I don't actively pretend to be a god anymore. I learned my lesson with Saloon a very long time ago, and I don't wish to repeat that yet again. Well, with Divinity's gate now permanently closed, and supposedly the gods walk among us now, some even say mostly up in the Vasselheim area, well, their champions walk with them as well. Helm chose an avatar and a champion to walk with, and Helm and Xanath walk side by side across the material plane, doing whatever they can to undo the damage that lewdness had caused the world. And that's been her focus.
My lord,
and here I am, in my godlike form.
My lord, I was there the
Please,
day that the Fae was ended.
Not required. I'm aware of who you are for, and the Bright Queen filled me in. Judgment and guilt are not yours to be weighed on your shoulder. There was a temporal collision of energy that not even the gods themselves could stop. You see, Shadowfell and the Fae do not identify in the pantheon of divinity. Therefore, there was no one there to protect them from what had happened. And the creature, the individual that you fought, knew this. They had found Strahd's castle, used the corruption of the castle to try to bring the two existences together to form a new plane of existence. Because he was not godlike and he was not ascended, he was unable to control the power that it took to foster such an attempt. Whether or not he was defeated as expected, the very act alone probably would have consumed him eventually.
Are you aware of his daughter?
Yes, that is a very unfortunate situation.
How come?
Not all avatars know who they are. Not all avatars maintain their memory. This person of interest must be found and dealt with accordingly. She is a danger, and the power inside of her could do this world great harm.
Whose avatar are you looking for?
See, that's just it, dear girl. No one knows for sure. But she is someone that I would deeply enjoy a conversation with.
Well, good luck finding this person. We know nothing about it.
He just smiles at you.
Take on my god.
I look at I look at him. I look at him and I like apologize. You know, she
Apologize for what? She merely cares about someone that she's keeping protected. I understand.
but she
Sometimes
doesn't
things will reveal
understand.
themselves on their own anyways. I'm not worried about that. Like
She
I said,
doesn't-
she's a
doesn't-
person of interest.
Yeah, you seem very unworried about a lot of things. Like, for example, that Shimmerling who you corrupted into this sniveling, diseased creature.
Well, see, now that's what bothers me the most. I did not do that. That Shimmerling is not the one that I protected.
And then what do you think that is?
I don't know. I think somebody used my artwork for the purposes of corruption. Somebody who has the understanding of casting planar gates as well as using spells. Whoever interacted with this painting, I would call them a masterful artificer, to say the least.
Are you familiar with the,
Crimp.
Crypt?
Yeah,
Crimp.
that guy.
Are you
I'm
familiar
afraid
with
I
the guy
don't
named
know who that is.
I'm gonna minor illusion his face and give him maybe like a mustache and some devil horns.
I'm afraid I don't know this person. And he circles the illusion with a very perplexed look on his face. He's even rubbing at his chin, and this is a new person I have not yet met. What is his involvement in all of this?
If you don't recognize this person, you cannot go forward with your task with Kalion. This person is immensely powerful. And he is in the employ of Kalion, and he's in the employ of Spike, the Minotaur you're also chasing.
Oh, yes.
They are in communique.
Do any of you possess an object of this person you call Crimp? A device, a token?
Yes, I have a piece of his machinery that I was gonna try and use to get trauma back. I still miss trauma.
Yeah, poor Karina has never really recovered from that 300-foot
traumatic.
death.
I still feel bad just because we have that like off-screen discussion. Like,
You should. You brought life into this world, and then what?
And then you snuffed it. Well, I snuffed it out technically. Well, he snuffed it out with a bad roll. He takes the little armature device from you, and you watch as he holds it in his hands, and he closes his eyes. He begins to invoke a spell, and you watch as his eyes kind of go white, and a few minutes he's kind of muttering to himself for a few minutes, and then there's a kind of and he grabs onto his eyes, and his eyes are tearing, and he wipes. That was a very interesting reaction to my scry.
So
I think this is a person I should meet.
no, I must intercede. You cannot meet this man. There's more than one of them anyway.
Yes.
So if you met the one, you wouldn't know you met the real one.
Yeah.
How many of them are there?
I think we know of at least 3.
Didn't we see 10 or 15 when we were in
I thought
his
there were
lab?
like 13 of them.
Assuming
13. Interesting. Now, how much do you tell Artagnan about everything about Crimp? How much are you sharing?
Foreign, recognizing that he's an archfey, Foreign is telling him everything. Like Foreign, because Foreign sees that he can't be on the wrong side, being open to the archfey, because that's who, like, ultimately they're part of who he's here for.
Right. Gotcha. He listens to your 10-minute long explanation, examining the illusion that remains there that Karina provided him. And his brows kind of knit together. He goes, "What are the odds that there are 2 avatars in the same city? And why would they be here? This is truly intriguing."
whose avatar is he?
That is the problem with the philosophy of such things. While we have our suspicions, we don't necessarily. And you watch as the trench coat, kind of like the sleeve, kind of does a gesture towards Artagnan. I know. I'm keeping my word. I can only say so much. I understand.
No.
Avatars may not always know who they are themselves. He looks over at the coat. The coat's got its arms crossed and doing the sleeve thing, very kind of Cinderella-esque. I know. Anyways, we don't know who they are, and they sometimes don't know who themselves are. It's a way of protecting who they are from Predathos, as well as allowing the freedom that they require to exist on the material plane.
Well, can you tell us your suspicion? Because with that suspicion, we might be able to act a little smarter.
He looks over at the coat. The coat just does, the collar lapel does that back and forth, no way kind of sway of its shoulders. Unfortunately, that would be breaking a rule, and I cannot do that.
My lord,
Can you tell us who this coat is?
Looks over at the coat. The coat just shrugs its shoulders. They are a companion of mine.
That tells us nothing. Please proceed.
Unfortunately, that is the best I can offer you.
Nah.
I take out the list. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
While you were speaking of unknown, I hesitate to call this one an enemy. But something that I feel you should be aware of if you are not already current. Do you happen to have my old emblem, the one that I gave you to study?
Yes, of course.
I would please, my lord, be extremely careful with this. I gave it to a cleric to study. It, as far as I can tell, it was what was trapping me in this plane. I have since shut it, but I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I don't necessarily expect your assistance ridding myself of this, but I don't know if you're aware of it, and I feel it may, at the very least, be a thing you want to be cognizant of. I just hand it to him to take a look at.
He looks at the device in your hand and immediately steps away from it. His tenor and behavior switches from casual to very defensive. Where did you get that thing? Why would you have such a thing?
I think I picked it up at some market. I had assumed that this was a token of my god, but that was not the case. I don't know exactly where. As far as I know, I've had it for years.
That, dear boy, is a signet device. That is a signet of Asmodeus. Why would you carry such a thing?
Well, I've never been a religious bird. It didn't do anything for me. All I noticed is when I was packing my students up after a unfortunate incident at our dig site, I couldn't make it back through the planar gate.
What he's trying to say is, and I take the signet and flip it upside down, he thought it was an eagle.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Dear boy, no. No. At the earliest convenience, I would recommend destroying that object.
How?
I don't know. Melt it down, crush it, fracture it, toss it into a volcano and ride eagles home. I don't know. Do whatever you want with it.
Why do you want it destroyed so badly?
Well, if you carry a signet of Asmodeus, it means, well, you being a priest of Serenray, you carry the mark of Serenray, do you not?
I do.
If you carry the mark of a deify, well, it's said that they can follow you, of course. Can identify you as one of their own.
Before I forget about it for another. Sorry, go ahead.
Why do you think Asmodeus would deceptively give somebody this?
Well, Asmodeus, it's believed that he didn't take the deal. He still lives in his 9th level of hell, safe in the assumption that Predathos can't get to him. I don't think Asmodeus did it directly himself. I'm sure it was one of his many demonic creatures or devils that serve him. Like you said, your friend found himself trapped on this plane because of something that happened at a gateway. Gateways are notoriously unreliable when it comes to how they cross through the different planes of existence. A creature just powerful enough could intercede if it chose to. That would be my guess as to what happened.
Do you think there is any reason he would be dissatisfied, unhappy, desperate even?
I don't know. A god that could be consumed and destroyed by Predathos would definitely be looking to further their own protection. Why they've picked this handsome academic for it, I could not tell you why. I don't know enough about Professor here.
I didn't catch that. I'm sorry.
He does study the planes. He studies. He travels the planes and studies the planes. Perhaps.
Yeah, but I don't know why Asmodeus would take an interest in the professor. That's beyond my understanding, unfortunately. I'm not sure what Professor's capacities or capabilities are, other than doing excavations and traveling through portals, of course.
How dangerous is this Asmodeus? Is he an actual manifestation of an evil being, or is he simply trapped? That the oath I took, I am bound to aid those searching for their own freedom. I understand that's not necessarily a popular position when it comes to gods of the abyss, but if this is something that this individual is trapped in, I at least feel I should hear them out. I can't tell if you're frozen or not.
No, I'm thinking about how you might respond to this, because he's limited to certain rules he has to follow, or else it puts his own life in jeopardy. And right now, watching those two snack on obviously gluten-laced items is killing me, and I love it.
I'm eating a giant chocolate bunny that
Oh my god!
These are rice cakes. These are rice cakes.
Oh, even better.
It looked like it looked like a Lunchables pizza for a minute though, because whatever red stuff put on top,
it's bolognese on them.
Nice.
It almost was a Lunchable.
Well, of course, you got to put flavor on rice cakes.
Yeah,
they don't have no flavor.
Yeah.
As Homer Simpson classically put it, flavor. Hello.
Before he makes an answer, kind of actually, before you give me a definitive answer, maybe keep these separated. But I'm gonna hand him my feather of commune and just be like, maybe have a chat with the big man. Just see if you can come to any agreements on what needs to be done.
I'm afraid my current condition forbids me to communicate with any of the gods, dear boy. I do apologize.
Of course. It can never be simple.
You must understand, there's a very thinly stitched together agreement amongst most of the Pantheon. And for some of us that were never truly considered Pantheon, we were lesser Pantheon. Well, we had to make certain... I'm aware, I know. let's just say we had to make certain agreements.
I mean, if this was Helm or something, I'm sure I could understand. But I mean, it's remnants. He's a god of eagles. Who's he going to tell?
It's
other
not
eagles?
who they are, dear boy. It's how.
Sorry,
This is not breaking the rule. It's what we use to contact them and have conversations. Those of us that have made the pact.
Can I try and do identify/detect magic while the conversation happens on the coats and use an arcana check?
You can try to detect magic because it's currently not on Artagnan, so it doesn't bear the benefit of the ring. Are you casting it like as a spell or as a ritual?
Ritual, so it takes a
I'll
little
say
time.
you've been gradually kind of preparing for it. The coat identifies itself as a sentient creature. It is called the Coat of the Keeper. It is a lesser fae, not an archfae, but a lesser fae who seeks to become an archfae.
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
it identifies as a companion.
Okay,
So-
wave at it.
It waves at you.
Uh,
Just an empty floppy sleeve that goes back and forth.
Artagnan,
Yes.
do these names or ingredients mean anything to you? And it's the list of places and ingredients and orders that was in the bag. I gave the papers back to Crimp, but I had scribbled down
Yep.
the places and the ingredients before I gave him his papers.
The names of the ingredients are not familiar to me, but I almost hesitate to say every single one of those locations has
What a
fae
way.
in the way. That's a lot of cat.
That is yeah. Physics is fun. You know what's awesome? Having 14 pounds of cat just kind of leap up on the back of your chair unexpectedly. That was weird. Yeah, Radar is quite a bit of cat.
So yes, I'm afraid I don't understand the details of the list, but those places are places I'm familiar with and that I've traveled to.
So does that mean that Crimp knows about all of your secret fae locations?
Oh, this list came from Crimp then.
Yes.
I don't
It
know
was
if he
in-
knows about the locations. Maybe they are merely suspicions.
He's
Places that he
collecting-
means to go to.
The Iron Collective is working with Crimp. They're collecting fae for him.
What for? He sounds like someone who is of magic and engineer based on the way you describe him.
The
He
shimmer.
works with clockworks and automatons.
He stitches metal and flesh. And he
stitches
collected
metal and flesh.
and he collected the remains of the dead Shimmerling.
He told us that
Oh.
he doesn't use the body parts at all. He just sells them.
He
He did remove
sells
it
them.
quite expertly, like he's done it before.
Interesting. Well, like I said, the person I shall safely try to make some inquiries about.
So what? It sounds like our purposes may be aligned. What can we do to help?
What can you do to help? Well, it's come to my understanding there are 3 reasons why I've come here. Callion is under great suspicion. I'm also been told that Jrusar Ord is here as well, and that they are attempting to remake the Chandei Quorum Council and begin the process of reuniting Marquet under the banner of Ankarel, bring a sort of unification to the land. That's very unusual because the Jrusar Ord I know could give a shit and would rather just sit amongst their palace and their people and simply live their life. I'm not sure why they are here doing that. To be honest with you, I'd never expect them to do that whatsoever. Thirdly, I need... I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's been suggested to us that Jamansa Ord has been replaced by a doppelganger. So we don't know if it's true.
Oh no, dear girl. Changelings and doppelgangers are very different creatures. While both possess the power of shape-shifting, doppelgangers are inherently cruel, mean, and tend to be very unreliable folk.
You don't know that I'm not cruel, mean, unreliable.
You're very reliable. Your
everybody
cruelty
immediately looks
is
at
more
Corinna.
active than anything else. And I can assure you your skill set in pretending not to care is very good.
You should be grateful you still have a finger. And then I'm walking behind Melody.
And like he goes, you mean this finger? And he pops it off and pulls it around and then puts it back on.
I turn into a tiny fae again and hide even behind Quincy.
Unfortunately, part of my agreement with those that be, I'm not saying who they are, I cannot ever again remove this ring under pain of death and suffering.
Okay, I turn back to Regina.
Just
So,
saying.
Callian, Jamansa Ord.
The third thing.
I will be here for a while. And since Callion has put Fawn in charge of me, I will, how shall we say, play along. I will stay at the Mirage, and I will keep myself very obvious and make myself a willing target to anybody interested in doing me harm. The only person really interested in doing me harm is Callion, and I suspect the Greymakers as well. Whether or not the leader of the Greymakers is to be trusted or mistrusted, I haven't yet decided yet. But I think we should all play along for now. Wait for Callion to slip up. Give me an opportunity to make some inquiries into this crimp and see if I can't learn some more about him. My inability to scry on him is very disconcerting.
Callion knows about Mason's daughter.
He's also deeply involved in the smuggling of fae.
Yes, that's what's brought me here. I believe him to be working directly with the Minotaur. I don't think the Minotaur is the main concern. I think this is a person who is merely earning coin and just bringing the brutality of their own existence out in the open. I feel the true person behind all this has yet to reveal themselves. That is what has brought me here.
I'm gonna give him one of our sending stones, so after he meets with Callion and possibly Crimp, he can contact us if something happens.
Oh, I got something even better for you, dear girl, but thank you. You watch as he invokes his spell. You guys now have a psychic chat room with him for the next 8 hours.
Oh.
You can speak to him wherever you are, regardless, and have a conversation with him. He can tune you out if he chooses to, because it's a very advanced form of the psychic ability. And he tests it. He goes, "How's this?" And at the same time, you all hear, "How's this?" in your head.
On that, can we open individual chats, for lack of a better word, or is it basically just a group conversation?
It's a group conversation unless I choose to tune you out personally, since I am the arbiter of the spell. It's a playful way that I allow worshippers and followers to pretend that they can speak to their deity.
I take one of my tokens out and hand it over to
yes, your kind are very strange. What happens when you run out of teeth and fingernails and such? Or did they just keep growing back?
So far as I know, they keep growing back. It takes the night.
People.
See, there's the thing. What Elendro do you know has facial hair? I'm not.
An
I'm
Elendro with maybe a little bit of human in them, perhaps?
Not that I know of. As
What's of
far
your
as I know,
parentage?
here, and I take my hand and I take his hand and I put it on my head. Like I pull the cap off and I put his hand on my head. Try it. See what you can find out.
Oh, mystery. I do love a mystery. Will you allow me to try out your deepest thoughts then?
You are an archfey. I'm here to serve.
Places his hand firmly on your shoulder or on your forehead and starts invoking the detect thoughts spell. And he goes, "Oh my, you have been busy. Oh my, you really were at that battle, weren't you? And you survived it. You know the Bright Queen. You have history. You have existence. But everything further, like the further I go back, the darker it gets, the dimmer it gets. There are no memories there. Where did they go?"
I try to concentrate on what I remember of the Coven, which are very spotty at this point. It's been a very long time, and I was a child. But
Were you raised by hags?
they called themselves the witches. Yes.
Were you raised by the Wildlight?
So far as I know.
Fascinating.
I believe
Very fascinating. These three witches of the Wildlight, they are extraordinarily unique. To be raised by them would make you either extraordinarily evil or extraordinarily naive, dear boy.
You saw back when the Bright Queen rescued me.
Yes, I saw that.
Look, I was an errand boy. I don't know what I was doing, but
Well, you know what you're doing now, don't you?
protecting the Fae, I do know.
Well, there's not anything left to protect other than spotty bits of magical places of the remains of the Fae. Are you protecting the Wildlight? The three hags of the courts?
Forn really does not know how to answer that question. It's like asking something. It's like asking something to a child that has no, like, the words that are said are all understood, but are like the language is understood, but the meaning of the words is just nothing.
There are, how should I put this? The Fae is a place of both unspeakable evil and unspeakable good at the same time. These creatures, these witches, as you are so eager to assume that they raised you, don't normally bring the witchlight. They consume and destroy for the sake of their power. The witchlight is made up into, how should we say, different factions. There's the Hourglass Coven, which I suspect you might be linked to. There's the League of Malevolence, and then the Valor's Call. But this great battle, this great struggle of the Witchlight, this is long lost now that the Feywild has been destroyed. Not really sure what you're protecting, dear boy, if any of that's even worth left protecting. You see, the Witchlight used to disguise themselves as a bit of a carnival. They would travel to different places of Exandria And through their connection with the Fae, they would absorb and consume emotion and power from those that they entertained. Sometimes for good, sometimes for ill. The Fae, the dark, deep Fae of the old Feywild, are notoriously fickle in how they determine their allegiance. These were not kind individuals for. Perhaps better that you don't know who they are, and they don't know who you are anymore. Perhaps the Bright Queen someday may tell you the truth. I suspect she knows more than she's already told you. Maybe out of benefit of your safety or her own. I'm not sure.
Do you know my name?
Only you know your name, Fawn. I do not know your true name if you're stating that you have a true name.
All I know is Fawn. I know Fawn is not my name.
Yes, Fawn is actually a Fey slur, to be honest with you. It's their way of calling you a foreigner.
Right. Because I am the only me.
No, you're the only Elendril with facial hair. I think would be a more interesting way of putting it. Somewhere in your blood is human blood.
They told me it was Bugbear.
Who told you it was Bugbear?
The witches told me the story that my parents...
Are you not following my conversation very well, Fawn? The witches are not kind people. They are not good people. The Witchlight is a place of chaos and unpredictability. Sometimes they do good things, but when they do, it's for their own benefit. I'm assuming that if they were destroyed along with the Fae, then the Witchlight Court does not exist anymore.
See, that's the thing. I assume that I am what they were doing good for. My supposed parents came to them for a child, and they gave them a child, but it took their lives. But that was me.
Does any of that sound good to you, Fawn?
What is good outside of the Fae?
Well, you have friends, you have purpose. You seek to protect Fae creatures without even truly understanding your own connection with the Fae. These witches are nothing more than an edge to your memory, but yet you seem so eager to offer me your servitude as an archfey. I would think caution, dear boy, caution is the order of the day. Not paranoia, but caution. Paranoia makes one, how shall we say, too brittle. And brittle things smash when they are hit in the right place. They lose focus. They lose discipline.
I offer my service because you are Archfey in recognition of your power and in recognition of your status and your holding within the Fae, just as I offered my service to the Bright Queen when she rescued me from that place.
You describe yourself being rescued from that place.
I was a child.
But yet you describe yourself being rescued.
I returned. I was off on an errand. I returned, and the Bright Queen and her armies were there.
And what does that tell you about why they were there? Because I'm sure she's never told you why they were there.
Growing up, I just understood it as they were ending the coven.
And why do you suppose the Bright Queen was ending the coven?
I don't know.
And
It's not
suppose the
there.
next time you have a conversation with the Bright Queen, you should ask her. It is not my place to fill in the gaps. If she is your rescuer, and you describe yourself being rescued from a coven of witches from the Witchlight Court, I think at some point in time you need to have a conversation with her about it. Delve into your psyche. Make sure that there's no nugget of concern that you do not know about.
My lord, may I ask a question?
Oh, there's that
before we
lord
get-
thing. See, I told you, Coat, that if I start revealing myself, this shit's going to happen. People are going to start worshiping me again. Pradatha...
I was
yes.
no, I already have, frankly, more gods than I know what to do with. You don't need to worry about that. But
That's a strange tale.
I was raised in a proper society, and we pay proper deference. I did wish to ask you. I
paid
don't want
proper
to
deference, but yet your mind reeks of non-religion.
Yes,
That makes
I'm a
total sense.
Yes.
An academic in religion always makes for interesting conversation, to say the least.
I mean, okay. Hardly the first one. I did want to ask you quickly. I don't want to make assumptions because I do not have direct experience either with your kind or, well, other than my patron with divinity in general. But can you comprehend all languages, or most languages? Or are you fairly, I don't want to say limited, but are there some that are beyond your grip? I wish to potentially ask you a thing, but I don't necessarily want to ask it in a, like, just kind of point it at the group. Like, I don't necessarily want to overhear the details.
Oh, you're keeping secrets from your friends.
Well, possible deniability more than anything. It's nothing. I promise. It's nothing that any of you need to worry about. I promise.
What are you going to ask?
Bird's honor.
What are you going to ask?
I just want to see if he needs something of me, or a thing that may work for him. But it's one of those, I don't know the rules of the system, and frankly, if it ends poorly, we can honestly say that the only people culpable are myself and him. There's no reason to involve other people in this if it is, in fact, a situation that does not work out.
Oh, dear boy, everybody's involved now.
Anyway, well, I'm gonna just ask him in Aran just to see if
Yeah, because none of them speak Aran, so yeah.
Huh? Yeah,
None of your
exactly.
friends speak it, so yeah, you go ahead and.
Yeah. All right. Well, here goes nothing. You mentioned that the method by which you communicate with deities is limited, and you have an open portal to my mind. I wanted to ask, if there was anything you think my god could answer for you, could you use me as a portal for that? I'm willing to offer you this service.
And then Aran, he'll respond to you. Unfortunately, I am not able nor allowed to invoke any ceremony whatsoever in...
No, but I would be doing it. Me.
Yes, but I would be implicit.
I thought that you were one... forgive me, I mean no insult in this. Obviously, I am from the ethereal realms. We do not have many fae that come directly to us. I had thought your reputation was, well, frankly, a bunch of rules lawyers. As long as the letter of what was involved was not violated, anything kind of went. I see Ford over there just giggling. I have nothing to gain from this. I'm trusting you based on Brightquill's endorsement and trying to aid you in any way I can.
The rules of the game are highly different now. To violate the rules based on the agreements are final and unbending. In my old days, I would bend every rule to the point of it breaking with no problem. Whether it was, well, pissing off Saloon or other gods in the process is possible. Used to be probable. Nowadays, unfortunately, the stakes are much higher.
So, hopefully this doesn't end badly, but I feel like this is going to kind of going into my god being chaotic good as opposed to me being lawful. It's like, forgive me, it kind of sounds like you embraced a rather boring existence in this regard, at least.
See, there's the word that you use accurately for the first time. Existence.
Oh, I was going to say...
Not existing is something I wish to not do. I like to exist. And if it means I have to make a few sacrifices in the process, then I make a few sacrifices in the process.
Fair enough.
I'm not quite ready to blink out of existence yet.
Fair enough. Retracted, but I, again, based on Brightquill, I want to aid you however I'm able. So if there's anything I can do to assist you, Thorn seems like a bit trigger happy, but he and I have a decentish relationship. But if there is anything that I can do for you directly or indirectly, as long as it does not violate my oaths, I will make every attempt.
Well, I appreciate your offer, and I may take you up on it.
So all of you speak Orin, right? That was rather impertinent of me.
It was just two pigeons talking to each other, from as far as you guys could tell. Chirp, 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 chirp.
For the last after the talk about the gods and someone being their existence on Exandria and everything, Forn is having a lot of wheels turning things after this, and I've been staring at Eritrea, and again the gears are going and the wheels are turning, and I look over at Artanian and I say,
Hi.
You say that an avatar wouldn't know that they were an avatar.
In most cases, that was the rule that was applied for their safety.
Would a potential sign of an avatar be returning to life after death? And I'm
Possibly.
just staring at Eritrea.
Why do you make such an inquiry?
I'm going to kind of stand in front of Eritrea so he does not catch on to the fact that Eritrea might be very special. Obviously, I am God, because I'm very special.
Oh yes, dear girl, we know how special you are.
Thank you.
Before we continue this conversation, might I make a recommendation? It's been a long travel, a long ruse that I've been keeping up. I truly would like to get to the Gilded Mirage and settle into my normal space that I settle into. Perhaps the 5 of you would like to join me. I think you will find it very informative.
Can I have one of your things?
One of my things? It's a very generalized statement. Would you like a hair, a toe, a fingernail, a tooth?
Like a piece of your ear, maybe.
No, I'm very fond of my ears. I can gladly give you one of my tokens, the smiley face with the cloak around it.
Oh, that'll do.
He flips you a silver token. It lands in your hand. It's a image of a cloak with a big white smile emblazoned in the cloak. For those on the material plane, they call me the Traveler.
I'm gonna look at the professor. And also just gonna give Eritrea the like thumbs up. He's not on to you. Maybe.
I just wink at Karina.
We all have
Just,
a
like,
psychic
the most
link right now,
awkward-
you guys.
Well,
Just kind
who's
you
driving this
understand
skiff?
that
Can we
I
please
asked
get
my
out of the
question-
jungle?
of course.
Let's hop back on the airship and start heading back up.
He pulls himself back up on the skiff. The coat glides over and fits back onto his body. You guys kind of all load up on the skiff. You feel it start ascending upward and upward and upward until you're on the outskirts of all the spires, just kind of up above everything, looking towards the spires, and you could kind of hear the beginning return noise of the busy city. Now, if you're going to join me in the Gilded Mirage, you must swear an oath of secrecy.
All right.
Especially you, Fawn, because you obviously have to answer to a higher form. Callion is a very clever wizard.
I will swear it as long as it does not conflict with my current oath.
Now that is something I can believe in.
I understand.
I swear, and if I fail my swear, my name is not Regina.
Your name is
Then I
not
transfer-
Regina, dear girl, but that's fine.
Transform into legalized.
Professor, would you kindly take the skiff over to the base of the lantern spire, if you would, please? At the lowest level.
Alright, so I'm gonna get in the control pod or whatever and just start navigating up.
Okay.
Hopefully better
You
this
gotta-
time.
You kind of arch it and arc it in the direction of a rickety old walkway that you can see at the lowest point, because from the lowest point on up, you can see stairs leading up to levels of the lantern spire that get better and upper and high and high and higher. So you come up out of the tops of the jungle and over by this old rickety landing that circles the base of the lantern spire. The skiff kind of, you get it close enough that it can tie up to the landing. Bragsworth steps off the skiff. And if you would kindly follow me, please.
Whose cat is that?
It's got to be Professor.
It's my
Young.
I was about to ask whether or not you could hear Houdini completely failing at burying his poop in the background.
Yeah, all I can hear is like plastic
Yeah,
and barely any
um,
sand.
he has not touched sand yet. Yeah, Houdini's a smart boy.
I know cats well enough because I have to change their litter boxes. I know that sound. It almost triggered me. Super close. Super close.
Yeah, this is Houdini's just not a smart boy, and he thinks just pawing at the air is like he does the same thing with his food. Like, hey, there might be leftovers here. I should paw at the ground near where my dish is.
I think he does that too.
My eldest son is, my eldest child is not a bright one.
Not a bright bulb.
No, he's not.
Bragsworth just stands there. Shall we?
Let's do it.
You guys all step up onto the platform and you start following him towards the furthest set of stairs. A series of wooden stairs with cables attached to give them kind of a suspension feel. You walk up with him until you're on like this abandoned section of a platform with a bunch of rickety old boxes and detritus and barrels, like kind of like you'd expect to find in the Smolder Spire. You know, just kind of run down, looks abandoned. There's simply a wooden door that looks rickety and very kind of unappealing. He opens the door and he steps through into the darkness.
I follow him in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Watches
follow
for
too.
follows.
Yeah,
Melody
I'll follow
follows.
too.
Air
And
Trio,
then
Jabatros, everybody follows. Immediately, you are overwhelmed by music. intense music. The bright lights of a busy tavern meet you at first, but you can see that there are hallways and pathways that lead in lots of directions. Everything is extravagant, everything is over the top, everything is flourished, everything is beyond the color spectrum. It is an assault on the senses, complete assault on the senses. And the very first thing you notice is the fragrant and pungent air of spices and aromas and perfumes, and an overwhelming intoxication of the air itself kind of fills the space. You watch as people around you, suddenly the shimmers of their illusions begin to fade, and you see fauns and satyrs and pixies and centaurs. There are dozens upon dozens upon dozens of fae-like creatures here, everywhere around you. Groups of pixies around a giant margarita glass, sipping from bamboo straws, getting hammered. You can see centaurs over by a knife throwing competition where they're rearing back and throwing knives. You could see fauns kind of giggling and immediately staring at Melody and Eritrea and giggling to themselves. There are just, the colors here are overwhelming. The amount of fae here are overwhelming as well. Bragsworth gets a huge smile on his face, and he yells to two individuals with their backs turned to him. Tawny, Jorgensen, I have some people I would like you to meet. And that's where we're going to finish tonight.
Oh my god.
Perfect for our 2-week break, because Alexa and Ryan are getting married next Saturday. So, yay! I'm so happy for you two. I'm so happy and excited for you. It's going to be an amazing experience, and I wish you all the best, and I want you to have a great time. Remember, the key is to have a good time on that day, because guess what? That's the only time it happens. So, have fun. Don't stress. You will stress, but I'll be that third person reminding you today. Try not to stress, but you will. But remember to have fun. It is
a good reminder.
Look, the worst thing that could happen.
A lot of planning went into what you're doing. So
it doesn't matter what happens at the wedding. At the end of the day, the papers are signed, the rings are passed, and you're married. So who cares how the day goes? Yeah, you want it to go great. If it doesn't, you're still married.
It's all the memories, baby. All the memories. All the memories. So
I just want to point out, just while we're still here, though, just remember, no matter what happens, mine fucking rained outside, and I flubbed my vows. So by all means, it can go worse.
So for everybody else out there, we are off next week because of the wedding that's going on next week. So there will be no game next week. They will also be on their honeymoon the 4th. So Ryan and Alexa will not be joining us on the 4th. However, for the three of you, are we interested in a one-shot that continues the one-shot stories that we've been doing in relation to the eventual level 20 reunion of the previous campaign party? So we know we don't have Ryan and Alexa in the next couple of weeks, but as soon as we sign off here, we'll talk about the schedule. But for everyone else out there, thank you for joining us. Be safe, be kind, and don't forget, play a game. You guys go ahead and linger, and we'll see you all in a couple weeks. Bye, everybody.